And gentlemen, we are live. NASCAR Xfinity Series race coverage from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for this afternoon's running of the Pennzoil 250 is about to begin here shortly. A 100-mile or 100-lap, 250-mile race here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And anytime you see cars on the track at Indianapolis, it doesn't matter what sport of what form of motorsport it is. Even with this not necessarily being the main event even of the weekend, with the Brickyard 400 tomorrow and the NASCAR Xfinity Series taking their turn today, it still means a lot to win at the Brickyard. So, with that being said, who will win today's race? We have one Cup Series regular who has won quite a few times this season. Across all three series. He's won one truck race, two Xfinity races, and three Cup races. That would be Kyle Larson, starting mid-pack in this one. He actually wasn't even the fastest overall in practice yesterday. Qualified 19th for this one as well. A little bit of a mistake on his qualifying lap. So he's going to have his work cut out for him starting in the middle of the field. Sam Mayer, starting on the pole in this race, should be pretty quick. He had one of the quicker cars of the Pocono race on a 2.5-mile oval just a few weeks ago. And not only that, but SHR last season was able to win and sweep the top two positions, with Riley Herbst getting the win, Cole Custer finishing second in that event. Mayer starts first today. Sheldon Creed starts third. This could be the best opportunity for Haas Automation to get their first win under their new regime for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So a couple of headlines there coming into this one. Appreciate everybody tuning in this afternoon. This is our second live commentary stream of the day, and already our fourth of the weekend, with Cup Series practice yesterday getting rained out. We did end up having a stream then, regardless of the fact that we did not end up actually seeing cars on track during that stream. Weather looks to be holding off clear for Indianapolis this evening, at least for the start of the race today. Hopefully it stays that way for the rest of the weekend. Obviously, with the humidity as high as it is and as warm and muggy as it is, we could have the potential for pop-up showers. They will be at least a chance, or there will be a chance of rain all the way throughout the rest of the weekend. But I'm optimistic. The radar, as of right now, doesn't have anything. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things stay clear. Terry Lewis, you hear Gaming and Entertainment. Billy Kramer and Wade, thanks for tuning in, guys. Fourth week in a row that the CW hasn't worked? Well, that's tough. I had 3 weeks consecutively where I didn't have any audio for the CW until last week. Last week I ended up having audio for the CW for the first time in a few weeks. And I do have audio as well because I did have it on in the pre-race there for about 5 to 10 minutes before we went live. We'll go through the rest of the starting lineup here in a moment, but first I want to wait for the command to fire engines. I'll let you listen into that, and then we will go through the starting lineup and the season review prior to the drop of the green flag for today's race. It is about time to go racing. Jesse Love doing double duty this weekend. They're highlighting him on the Xfinity broadcast. He'll be running the Cup Series race tomorrow as well in the 62 car for Beard Motorsports. He's got a little bit of damage around the right rear fender of the race car after brushing the wall in qualifying earlier this afternoon. Luckily, didn't have to go to a backup car or anything. And here is the command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
So who's going to be the next driver to test the iconic bricks in Indy? We'll soon find out. A laps on deck, but before it's welcome us back from the booth. You're watching the Xfinity Series. We'll be back.
All right, 30 laps in both Stage 1 and Stage 2. 40 laps in Stage 3 will be the stage splits for today's race. Sam Mayer on the pole. Nick Sanchez on the front row starting in second. We'll go through the rest of the starting order as well. And row number 2 will be Sheldon Creed and Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Eric Almirola in row 3. Almirola was a threat for the win in this race a year ago, finished third. Connor Zilic, who won at Pocono a couple weeks back, has actually won the last 2 oval races, and he has won back-to-back races on the schedule with the Sonoma race win and then last week at Dover. Justin Allgaier, his teammate, will be on the outside of that row in row number 4, so maybe we see either the 88 or the 7 right through to victory lane again. William Sawalich and Carson Kvapil will line up in row 5. Kvapil was second fastest in practice yesterday. Sammy Smith with Jeremy Clements make up row 6. Row 7, Austin Hill, Taylor Gray. Row number 8, Christian Eckes, Dean Thompson. Row 9 for Leland Honeyman, Daniel Dye. And in the top half of the field, round out Kyle Larson and Harrison Burton making up row number 10. And row 11 will be Ryan Sieg and Anthony Alfredo. Jeb Burton with Catherine Legg in row number 12. Row 13 for Matt DiBenedetto and Parker Retzlaff. Row 14, Brennan Poole, Kyle Sieg. Row 15 will be Blaine Perkins and Josh Balicki. Behind them in row number 16 is Josh Williams and Garrett Smithley. Mason Massey, Ryan Ellis make up row 17. Row 18 for Logan Beard and Joey Gase. And then rounding out the field in row 19 will be Dawson Cram and David Starr. So that is going to be the starting lineup for today's Pennzoil 250. 38 cars on the entry list, all of which made the race for the weekend. Fastest in practice yesterday was Connor Zilich. And we'll see if he can go for the race win here today. I mentioned moments ago he won at Pocono, similarly styled racetrack to that of Indianapolis, at least I think the more equivalent to that of Indy. And then the combination between that and the speed that SHR had last year, we'll see if the Haas Automation Fords can do the same this season with the 41 and the 00 both starting in the top 3. We'll take a brief look at the point standings now before the race gets kick-started this afternoon. Justin Allgaier comes in with a 56-point lead over Connor Zilich in the regular season standings. Remember, Zilich missed that race for injury at Texas Motor Speedway earlier this season. Had he not missed that race, it would be a much closer title fight. 3 wins in the last 4 races for Zilich in the Xfinity Series, including back-to-back oval wins. Trying to go for 3 in a row on the ovals, and I think he's got a legitimate shot today. Sam Mayer is in third in the point standings, minus 78, minus 83 for Austin Hill. And then Jesse Love rounds out the top 5 at 110 points back, with still 6 races to go in the regular season for the Xfinity Series. And now we'll fast forward and take a look at the playoff picture. Connor Zilich has the most wins on the season now with 4 after last week. Justin Allgaier with 3 wins on the year, and also 3 wins on the season for Austin Hill. Jesse Love has 1 win on the year, same for Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Nick Sanchez. So 7 different drivers have won of Xfinity Series regulars that are racing for points for the Xfinity Series. So 5 drivers as of right now can still point their way in. Sam Mayer's plus 162 to the good. Carson Kvapil plus 86, plus 61 for Sheldon Creed. And then a lot tighter around 11th and 12th right now. Plus 36 for Taylor Gray and only plus 7 for Jeb Burton. Jeb Burton moved into that final transfer spot as of right now over his cousin Harrison Burton last week. Harrison's minus 7 points as we enter the weekend, first driver out. Minus 30 for Ryan Sieg, who got a huge chunk of points last week at Dover, had a great day, ran top 5 for most of the afternoon. 62 points back is Dean Thompson, and Christian Eckes minus 71 would be the first 4 out. So that is the point standings outlook, and you can see that scrolling across the top of the screen throughout today's coverage. In the booth on the CW Sports broadcast, Adam Alexander, Jamie McMurray, and Parker Kligerman. And as far as our chat poll goes, 27 votes have been casted already for who you think is going to win today's race. Kyle Larson at 44% of the votes leads the way. Connor Zilich has 37% of the 27 votes. 11% for somebody other than Zilich, Larson, or Mayer. Mayer only 7% as he is the pole sitter. Those are my 3 favorites for the win. I would say Almirola would have been kind of a swap back and forth for my number 3 between him and Mayer. But considering SHR won last season here and Mayer's on the pole, had a top 3 run all day long at Pocono, I think Mayer should be a threat. Zilich and Larson qualifying a little bit further back, especially Larson starting mid-pack in 19th, is going to be very interesting to watch in this opening stage. They'll be in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet.
Redemption maybe possibly from that double attempt earlier this year between the Indy 500 and the Coke 600. It's a great looking car. He's going to be one to watch today.
He's starting 19th. Selfishly, this was 29.
Let's look at that.
I thought they were maybe going to interview Kyle Larson there. I didn't want you guys to miss out on that. If they do pick up any driver interviews while they're on the pace laps for today's race, I'll let you listen in. Just a B-Saw, Rima, thanks for tuning in as well. And if I haven't shouted anybody out that has been in the chat, thanks for watching as always. Like goal is going to be 50 likes for today's stream. Hit that threshold for the 2 streams already this weekend. The truck race last night, and then the Cup Series practice and qualifying stream already today. Yeah, my pick for the race win, I'm still taking Kyle Larson, even though he's starting 19th, but I do think it's going to be more competitive than what it's been in some of the other races he has ran at the Xfinity level this season. He has wins already at Texas and Bristol, led over 50% of the laps ran at Homestead, won the first 2 stages, led over 130 laps of 200, but final restart, ended up spinning his tires after contact from behind by Sam Mayer through that restart zone and couldn't get the fire off needed. Stay out in front. So this is his 4th start in the Xfinity Series this season. That means he could start 1 more before the end of the year yet. Johnny Vance, thanks for tuning in. How do you get the race? The race is on CW. It's a local affiliate there if you're in the U.S. If you're out of the U.S., I don't really know. I know the CW Sports app works in certain regions of the country, but it depends on what the local listings are, apparently, as to whether or not you can actually get it on the CW app or not. Or you might be able to get it on the CW app, and I've heard of issues with the camera where they only have in-car cams or vice versa. Maybe they only have like an aerial shot. But visual purposes, CW. Or I tried the CW app. If that doesn't work. Or you can listen here live. Or you can do all 3. You can do all 3. That'll help NASCAR's numbers on TV viewership, and it helps mine. That'd probably be the preferred way to go. You serve 2. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, KRC. Yes. Well, thank you for watching. If it wasn't for you guys watching this every weekend, I wouldn't be able to do this every weekend. Cup Series race coverage tomorrow will begin at 1:30 p.m. Eastern with our pre-race show. Just a heads up on that. And I'll obviously drop that start time so you guys don't forget throughout the course of the stream today. It's also in the community tab on the schedule post that I put up Thursday night. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. Won't be home on Monday. Well, hopefully we get the race in tomorrow without having to do a Monday race then. I would not be shocked if Larson charges to the front of the field in this first stage because it is Kyle Larson and it is the Xfinity Series. There aren't as many competitive cars. But for me to be confident that he would have a car capable of winning the race, I think he does need to show quite a bit of speed in this first stage. If he kind of gradually moves up through the field and barely breaks the top 10 and only really picks up 8 or 9 spots in these first 30 laps, I'd be a bit concerned. Especially if he ends up losing track position, depending on what kind of pit strategy we're going to end up having. If you're close enough at the front of the field, we may see pit stops before the end of the stages to kind of help flip the field like we would see on a road course. But because this is an oval and the lap times are going to be hovering around 50 seconds, you're going to have to be within the front couple of positions or within a few seconds of the lead to be able to do that and stay on the lead lap. So it's a bit risky. But I'm sure we'll see a couple of guys try that at the end of Stage 1 and Stage 2, assuming that the stages end under green. Henry Yester, thanks for tuning in. CW app on Roku working fine. Well, there you go. Yeah, I've never even tried to watch it on the app. Christian Eck is having problems before the start of the race.
So Alex Jans, the crew chief, came on the radio after that and said one of the wires in the dash is burnt up. They were working to figure out exactly which switch it goes to and try and get that patched up. Seems like they did. He's back up to speed, and he'll rejoin the field where he was scheduled to start, Kim.
All right.
Early problems also for Justin Allgaier. Remember in pre-race, he told us that it was about managing the day, especially the heat. Well, maybe some problems with the cool shirt. Take a listen to the radio.
I think we already. Good morning. Taking your filler, so anything like what they're working.
That's the issue. This could be a very long 100 laps for the driver of the number 7, especially with the temperatures outside today in Indy.
I would say it's hot, it's humid.
Yeah.
Magnify it with that, not good for Justin Allgaier.
And Audie mentioned there about trying to get some cool air to it. So a lot of these teams run actually an air duct that with a hose that goes to those cool shirt boxes to help them stay cool. We learned that over the last couple of years when they failed in extreme heat when you needed it most. It was because the actual machine was overheating. So that's smart to let them try and cool it down under these, pace laps once you get that air moving and see if it fixes. I want that.
All right. Well, the lights are out on the pace car, and we will be going green this time by, again, 100 laps will be our scheduled distance for this race today. 30 laps in the opening stage. Sam Mayer, our pole sitter. Joanne Ellis, thanks for tuning in. Wayne Martin, welcome to the stream. Irina Sarah as well, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Almirola, I think is a pretty solid pick. I was kind of leaning on him a little bit. He's in my top 3 or 4 for sure. Pace car will take the huge left-hand turn for pit road. Mayer elects the inside lane for the front row as we get going. And he's got the rookie Nick Sanchez, who's been riding a hot streak, to his outside. Creeping into that restart zone. Hand out the window for Mayer. Gets the push. Green flag is in the air. We're underway in the Pennzoil 250 at Indy. And that's Sheldon Creed, the teammate of Sam Mayer, that's trying to help give him that push into the first turn. Mayer pulls clear before the entry of the corner. Through the chute and turns 1 and 2, side by side for second, and most of the way through the field on back behind the leaders. Creed not going to be able to hang on the inside of Nick Sanchez. Sanchez wins the battle for second. Creed moves up into third place. And side by side for fourth still goes on between Jesse Love and Brandon Jones. Eric Almirola got a big bump draft by Connor Zilic down the back straightaway. Almirola slingshots to the inside, trying to make a pass on the 7 of Allgaier, and completes it. Brandon Jones wins the battle for fourth over Jesse Love. Meanwhile, Mayer continues to lead through turns 3 and 4. And our pole sitter, Sam Mayer, will lead the opening lap of the race. The 07 car very slow, trying to creep their way to pit road. I believe that's Logan Bearden in the 38. I noticed that he was wide, and I believe he missed the start of the race. He was actually creeping on the pace lap, so he didn't even get the green yet before pulling to pit road. Allgaier overdriving turns 1 and 2. And he's going to lose a couple of positions as he gets shuffled off of that inside line. His teammate Zilic by and his other teammate Carson Quapple up the inside down the back straightaway. I couldn't tell if maybe he got air loose with the 88 running tight on that rear spoiler. Entering turn 7. Unique Hellman's paint scheme this weekend for Allgaier. Not the, bright yellow and blue or yellow-white paint schemes we've seen over the years. Kind of a beige color. Wow, big block by Almirola on the front stretch the last lap. They're showing the replay of it right now on the CW. A little bit of contact, and Allgaier almost got forced into the inside wall by the veteran Eric Almirola. He definitely had a run. That might have been a little too aggressive of a block, especially for the opening lap of the race, but it goes to show how much track position matters here. Now, I don't believe that the Xfinity Series teams are using the same... Hold on, we've got trouble. Off turn 2, and it's Harrison Burton in the 25. Caution's out for the first time. Burt was able to lock the car down and keep it off the inside wall. Doesn't look like there's much damage to the outside of the race car, so I don't think he made significant contact with the outside of the wall either, but we're under yellow for the first time on lap 3.
You might not be a set of tires behind. You will be a set of tires behind, but they're not going to be as important here as some of the other tracks.
By the way, Logan Bearden had pulled to pit road and gone a lap down. We'll follow up with that in a moment. First, the spin off the corner.
He's just trying to stay off of the 16 right there. He's already half spun out there as we got to him, and I think that it's what you see is when you're side by side. These cars have been sketchy all weekend. This track is so slick right now. You just lose that side force. You start chasing the car. We've seen guys do it by themselves. But looking where the 16 is there, he just lost the side force, went around. Didn't hit anything, as he said. And with his battle on the playoff bubble against his cousin, he can't afford to miss it.
An eventful start here at Indianapolis. Sam Mayer staying in front of the mess. He leads Sanchez, Freak, Jones, and Almirola.
Yeah, Google user saying I like eggs in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in, though. John Barber, thanks for watching as well. Let's see here. How does NASCAR regulate how many Cup regulars will compete in Xfinity cars? So like per race, I don't really think that there's a limit as to how many per race, as long as the entry is available for the drivers so they can qualify in on time. Throughout the course of the season, they only get 5, though. If you've been in the Cup Series for more than 3 years, then you get up to 5 truck and Xfinity races. And it's 7 races for anybody who's in their first 3 seasons in Cup. So like we've seen Hocevar run several truck races. He's only in his second Cup season, so he could run up to 7 truck races or 7 Xfinity races, for instance. But guys like Kyle Larson, they only get 5 throughout the course of the year. So here's a Burt with a spin out of turn 2. He was battling side by side with Christian Eckes. And considering that Eckes is in 18th, I would imagine that battle was for 18th. So Burton to the tail end of the lead lap following the spin. No major damage on the 25. He came in minus 7 points below the cut line on Jeb Burton. And Jeb was running right there behind him in 19th place as well. Everybody missed the spinning 25 down the back straightaway. Kind of spun off of the racing line down towards the grassy area of the back straightaway. Good to see him not hit anything. We saw Denny Hamlin crash viciously in qualifying earlier in that same area of the track. And he'll be having to go to a backup for tomorrow's Cup race after being fastest in practice with that primary car just a half hour to 45 minutes before his qualifying mishap. So Mayer leading under caution now after taking the green to start the race today. So led the first few laps. Kyle Larson's up 4 spots already from 19th to 15th. As the caution came out after about 2.5 green flag laps. It was lap 3, exit of turn 2 for the middle of the pack where the caution had initially started. Ford has not won in the Xfinity Series this season. Really don't have quote-unquote competitive teams anymore with SHR rebranding to Haas Automation. Cut a lot of jobs within their vicinity. A lot of their best team members maybe going elsewhere to other teams. Financially just in a rebuild, essentially. So to have Mayer on the pole today, Sheldon Creed in third, we'll see if one of those two can break the victory lane. Ryan Segan and Ford had a great run at Dover a week ago, ended up with a top 5.
.com. Let's go places. And by Golden Corral. Golden Corral, our nation's heroes. Under caution early in Indy, and now we do our race break. Brought to you by Safe Life, the auto glass expert. How about this?
This was wild this early in the race. Justin Allgaier has a big run behind Jesse LaMerica. Goes to the bottom, almost gets in the wall, hits the drainage there. And the cars bombs out left sides are not meant to go right. So when you put a bunch of load on the left side, it's falling over on those springs. You can actually hear it on board. They'll bottom out, taking less than 2 Oh, that's that drainage right down there. You don't want to hit that too hard with the splitter and such. But gets away with it. That was a very aggressive block. Let's take a listen to his radio.
There you go.
Just idiot racing, that's all. You're talking to 19, I'm gonna tell them that, next time I'm not gonna be 90, like, what are we doing? To cover that, wrong relation.
I don't think that's 100% on the spotter. The spotter's not holding the wheel. I mean, Eric's looking out the back of the car. And as a driver, you sense how fast that run is coming and whether you think you can block or not. I would say Eric thought it was early, probably wouldn't be that aggressive, but we know it's hard to pass here. And he was going to get 2 on one straightaway right there. The guys are going to take those runs. And if he doesn't, Eric gets put in a very awkward position in turn 1, being 3 wide in the middle. Protected himself from that situation, so it looks aggressive. It looks very defensive, but it is defensive to protect the race car in some respects.
Harrison Burton being scored 35th after the spin that brought out the caution. They update the numbers as far as points are concerned. Came in 7 below the cut line, now 23 out is Harrison Burton. By the way, there are some opportunities, and here you see the points updated as they run on track. Jeb, 23 in front of his cousin Harrison. There are some opportunities to pit and flip the stage. We're not late enough in this stage to be able to do it and run to the end of stage 2. We did, though, have some drivers make a pit stop under this caution. Parker Retzloff, the most notable, was 23rd. They were having a mirror issue. That's why they came down. Josh Balicki, Joey Gase also making pit stops. How about this on board? The Savannah Bananas on board with Matt DiBenedetto. The Bananas going to be playing on CW tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time. I have not been to a game.
Yeah, I'd like to go watch them. That'd be very cool to see. I've seen the clips, obviously online, and looks like a lot of fun. He's throwing out the pitch, and he will be very slim after having 109 degrees inside the car. I feel as if Matt is going to do better than some of the other drivers.
Let's not critique.
Yes, I do. See your pitch. I think my pitch would be solid as well. Yeah, I do. Okay.
Well, you pretty much owned them. Jim.
Well, Adam, I appreciate you bringing up the old times.
The good old days.
Hall of Fame there. I was an all-star.
Oh, nice. It was pretty much racing or baseball for Jimmy.
Probably should have went with baseball. Well,
What a dig by Parker. What's Parker talking about? Jamie's a Daytona 500 champion. I saw my check. Parker Kligerman's never won a cup race. I feel like that joke should have been the other way around. All jokes aside, green flag is back in the air. We're underway for stage number 1. Couple cars in the middle of that inside line getting a bit tangled up. Sammy Smith hooked on the back bumper of the 1 of Carson Kvapil, and Kvapil almost ended up going around. There's a big gap between himself and Zilich in front of him because of that stall out through the restart zone. 1-2 now for Haas as they exit turn 2 for the back straightaway. Mayer still in the lead. Sheldon Creed was able to get to second in front of Nick Sanchez. Zilich and Allgaier side by side is the closest door-to-door battle entering turn 3 on the opening lap following the restart. Zilich will pull in front of his teammate. And that battle was for 6th. Carson Kvapil on the outside of Jesse Love. Couple cars still trying to work their way forward. Side by side at Indy, even as you're getting up to speed on the opening lap in these very tight corners that is one groove. It's very difficult to navigate. Kyle Larson right in the middle of the pack trying to make some passes. After gaining 4 positions in those first 2.5 laps before the caution flag came out from 19th to 15th. This restart, he actually lost a spot, at least on the first lap, and he falls back to 16th place. Biggest mover of the race overall is Ryan Sieg, who's up 9 positions from his initial starting spot. See where Sieg's at. Sieg's currently in 14th. Only 2 of those 9 positions have been gained since this restart. as we'll be completing lap number 8 at the start-finish line.
Crank up the throttle there for Matt DiBenedetto. When you go into the corners, it's a traditional mile and a half the way you're working, but then when you get to the straightaways, it's like a super speedway. You want to be lined up, getting pushed or pushing someone. That you can make huge moves in the passive runs if you do that correctly, but if you're not, you can lose a lot of positions in one straight.
Thompson for giving a shove to Austin Hill. It's 26 and 21 you saw working together there. 12th and 13th on track.
Calm down just a little bit. They all have kind of got spread out now over the restart. They told me the restart's just chaotic. We saw that last year as well. And if you watch these guys, they just get that run right at the end of the straightaway. And you see guys pull out just at the very last second. Parker, you mentioned something earlier. Larson did a really good job of that in the Cup race last year. Be curious to see if he can time those runs out again in this car like he was able to do in the Cup car last year.
Right, that's really how you make a passer, no matter what kind of race car you're in, whether it's an Indy car or a NASCAR Xfinity car or the Cup car. It's sort of the surprise down into the corners in turn 1 or turn 3 as Larson goes by Jeremy Clemson, some help from William Sawalich. That started further back, but he definitely in the Cup Series race last year was so good at those late, like really late moves into the corner, catching the other drivers off guard and taking the position.
And right here, they're going to get too wide in front of Kyle Lewis, and he's able to generate. Sieg was on the inside of Dean Thompson. They lost all their momentum. That is exactly a lot for him. And I've been a little surprised by Kyle. He's up to 13th right now, but really hasn't made the gain that we thought he would early in the race. See if he's able to get by Austin Hill here. Maybe he can time out a run right here. That distance he's behind, if he can get a good enough run off the turn 4, not have to crack the throttle, we'll see the momentum he's going to have on the exit. It looks like he might actually have a run.
I was gonna be curious if he takes her now, because one of the things Austin Hill and I did last year coming through the fields, we actually worked together at times like this where everyone was so far ahead of us, we'd start pushing each other down the straightaway trying to make up time, because it does get a bit spread out with this package where cars that are single file get so far out from cars that are side by side.
It honestly looked like Kyle had a run right there. It could have went to the inside, but stayed behind, maybe to push him up. What you'd like to do is push him up kind of close and then get by him at the very last second, being just a little bit selfish.
Talk about the fact that he hasn't gained a ton of positions, but I love the patience early because this is a long race. And Larson, you got to believe, is going to be right there at the end. This move was key for Sam Mayer to get ahead of the curve. He jumps out for the race lead. This level so far today in Indianapolis. Almost halfway home, stage 1.
12 laps complete. Sam Mayer is our race leader. Sheldon Creed in second. Third place is Nick Sanchez. Eric Almirola fourth. And Connor Zillage rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Sixth place is Justin Allgaier. Brandon Jones seventh. Carson Quapple in eighth. Jesse Love ninth. And Taylor Gray rounds out the top 10. John Barber, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That's awesome. Regular of the channel, of course. Appreciate you tuning in every week. It's kind of weird. I had to refresh the page for the super chats earlier, and then that one popped up perfectly fine. I did have to refresh the chat a little bit ago, though. Not before that comment specifically, but it'll freeze up like on my phone where I'll have to actually exit out of the feed and then log back into it again. But again, thank you so much for that. Larson being patient, getting to the front. I just don't think he's got the oomph in his race car. Not that we would usually see from Kyle Larson in the Xfinity series. And the racetracks that he has ran on so far this season have been Homestead, Bristol, and Texas. And the last race that he ran was the 88 car at Junior Motorsports in the Texas race, in which he ended up winning, but he only led like 30 laps that day. It was about the final 30 laps. Took him a while to get to the lead, and once he got there, nobody was able to get by him on the late race restarts. So you wonder if it's going to be that kind of a race for Kyle Larson today if he's able to click away another victory. A lot of side drafting on the front stretch going on between Connor Zilich and Nick Sanchez as they battle for third. Zilich will make the pass. He was able to get by Almirola the lap before that as well. So the driver who was fastest in practice and is trying to go for 3 wins in a row in the Xfinity Series, Connor Zilich on the move. Sam Mayer's pulled out to a 2.4 second advantage over his teammate Sheldon Creed. And then there's a pretty long line of cars all inside the top 10. Close enough to make some slingshot moves at the end of the straightaways. Probably see more passing opportunities in today's race with these Xfinity cars than what we'll see in the Cup cars tomorrow, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy to make a pass. And here's another move down the back straightaway. Eric Almirola gets to the inside of Nick Sanchez. Sanchez almost blocked Allgaier down into the grass, who had a run in a tail in the draft behind the 19 on the bottom lane. And both the 19 and 7 clear the 48. So Sanchez, after starting second, is starting to go backwards now as he falls out of the top 5 for the first time and sits in 6th. Brandon Jones on the 20 is right there behind the 48 as well. Janet Barker, thanks for tuning in. Creed trying to go to the bottom of the racetrack to break whatever draft of the cars behind him, and everybody else in that accordion line are also trying to get to the inside and do what they can to stay in the draft. Sam Mayer's so far out ahead that he's not even having to break the draft because they're not really close enough to him. Showing a replay of the Connor Zilich pass for third. Took place during the side-by-side commercial break. Zilich is all over the back bumper of Sheldon Creed. A little bit of a gap between himself and Almirola behind him in 4th. Might be harder to make a pass with no other car to draft off of, not only in front of the 00, but also help kind of get a push from behind as well. The only other thing I'm thinking of is maybe there's a chance that Connor Zilich is drafting behind the 00 and kind of trying to utilize some sort of a push down these straightaways so these 2 cars can be faster than the one of Sam Mayer out in front. Sounds like a video game move, but maybe that's the key. Oh, no, Zilich ain't going to wait around anymore. Never mind. Off turn 2, he slips to the inside of Sheldon Creed. Should have him clear before the entry of turn 3. Easily has him cleared. And so Connor Zilich up to 2nd after starting 7th today. Best lap of the race for him was on lap 9. Little bit of fall off in these tires over the course of the first 18 laps. We had 3 caution laps in there, so only 15 laps have been ran under the green. Fastest lap for our race leader, Sam Mayer, is a 54.549. The last lap he just ran was a 56.284. So a 1.7 seconds of fall off, which I'm quite surprised, although it is a warmer temperature this year for the Brickyard 400 and track temp as well than what it was last season. Sun's out today versus yesterday, overcast skies for practice. So I'm sure the conditions are a lot different than even what they were just over 24 hours ago for these guys in the same vehicles. Akeka Stewart, thanks for tuning in also. Aloha. I think Brandon Jones is going to get the win today. Or at least you're pulling for him. A decent start for him. He's in 6th place right now. Kyle Larson's just cracked the top 10 as he made a pass for 10th the last lap, getting by Taylor Gray in the 54. Still 12 laps to go yet in stage 1. There's about 3 cars that Larson can catch that aren't that far in front of him. And there will be a bigger gap to catch up to the 6th place car of Jones. The lead is 2.3 seconds between Mayer and Zilich. And that last lap, Zilich was actually about 0.2 quicker than the race leader, Mayer. Can he put consistent lap times of that quick up so he can continue his charge after the lead? We shall have to wait and see. Larson looking low underneath of the one of Carson Kvapil. That would be a pass for ninth, and he makes it look easy. Into turn one, Kvapil may be settling in line quickly so he didn't lose another spot to Gray. Didn't want to get shuffled into the outside for too long of a period of time. And Nick Sanchez, who has been dropping quite a few spots from his starting spot in second now, is the next one in front of Larson. Almirola moves up to third. Down the backstretch, pulled low, got by Sheldon Creed, clear into turn 3. Justin Allgaier trying to keep pace with the 19 and the 88 who were making moves in front of him. The initial start and then that restart, Allgaier having a tough time trying to keep from losing positions, but as the green flag run has gotten a bit longer, he's getting more in a rhythm and was able to get some of those passes back and then some. And he's definitely showing more pace than Sheldon Creed at this point in the run. I'd like to think he'll be able to get to fourth here before long. Bam Hall, JoJo, welcome to the stream. 9 laps to go yet in stage 1 this time by. It's a 2.5 second lead for Mayer over Zilich in second place. Eric Almirola is 2.9 seconds back in third. Sheldon Creed 3 seconds off the lead in fourth, and then 3.2 seconds to Justin Allgaier in fifth. So still tight battle around third through fifth. Really second through fifth for the most part. They're all within a second of one another. Allgaier did just make a pass on Sheldon Creed for fourth. And Almirola going for second after Connor Zilich. Zilich a bit wide off turn 2. Almirola to the bottom. Quick side draft. Pulled away from the 88. And clears. About 2/3 of the way down the back straightaway. And Almirola on the move. Zilich got the second. He wasn't really able to get away from this line of cars behind him. The draft was just a little too strong. And I'm curious to see if the 88 is able to stay with the 19. In kind of the same facet. Or is Almirola going to start showing his speed in his race car and pulling ahead? He could also pull this whole line forward to try to run down the race leader, Mayer. Because it seemed like Zilich was making up a little bit of time on our leader, but Almirola making even more gains at a much rapid pace. Favorite Xfinity Series racer? I honestly really don't have one. I mean, I don't really... I mean, Connor Zilich is obviously fun to watch. The fact that he is 18 years old and has as much raw talent as he does. So for that reason, I would probably say Zilich. But there's such a rotating cast in the Truck and Xfinity Series anymore that I don't really pick favorites in those series. Like back in the day when I was growing up as a Greg Biffle fan, he ran a lot of Busch races while he was running Cup, so I could kind of root for him in both. So I never really had like a favorite Busch driver. Todd Bodine was always my favorite Truck Series driver growing up, but he also ran the trucks for a really long time, the later part of his NASCAR career. Kind of in the way that Grant Enfinger or Matt Crafton does now. Stuart Friesen, another one. By the way, Friesen got DQ'd last night, and I did not see that until I left work today at noon. I'm like, oh, he got DQ'd. He would have finished third place had he not gotten disqualified at the end of the race last night at IRP for the Truck Series. So He ends up with a last place run. Good thing he already had a win at Michigan, so he's locked into the playoffs, so it's not like it really costed him anything as far as that side of things go. Justin Allgaier up to third place about a half a lap ago. He was able to get by Connor Zilisch. So Zilisch, after driving into second and passing both Almirola and Allgaier on track, is now starting to lose some spots. Almirola got to about 1.8 to 1.9 seconds of our leader, Sam Mayer, but he hasn't gotten any closer than that. Mayer's led all 25 laps to start the race thus far. Was a Tony Stewart fan that went to Denny Hamlin? Staying with the Gibbs guys. Allgaier's got a big run on the front straightaway this time, but he's not going to pull out a line to try to make the pass into turn one on Almirola. He's probably going to look to maybe try to set him up and get him off of turn two. I have seen more passes off turn two down the back straightaway than what I've seen on the front stretch, and I think there's a tailwind down the back straightaway, if I remember correctly from qualifying. And then the front stretch probably has the headwind, so pulling out a line there may be a little bit harder to complete a pass, even with a big enough run off the exit of 4 than what you would have if you had a great run off the exit of turn 2.
It's kind of relaxing, just, not getting like fist pump like you hear motorcycle guys get, but he's pretty comfortable in his car when I see him do that. 4 laps to go on the stage, less than 4 as they come off turn 2.
Oh, this will be a run right here. When you can get lower than someone in 2.
Oh, yeah, and the 19 knew it. Yeah, I was looking in his mirror, I guarantee as soon as he had to check up, and he's made him mad earlier in the race, so probably not going to race him real hard right now, knowing what happened earlier in this stage. Posits and withdrawals.
See right now. We'll talk about it later. That plus we're so late in the stage, they're probably not going to catch Sam Mayer, take the extra position, get those extra stage points.
You talk stage points, and there's a lot on the line up there in the top 10. Allgaier comes in regular season leader. Sheldon Creed could use some. Same for Taylor Gray and Carson Kvapil. All those guys trying to pick up some stage points here. Let's go to 88 Radio. Zilisch is fourth.
Cool.
So 2 things right there. The track has obviously had some practice on it from the Cup cars, but it did rain yesterday. And this track is really hard on tires until it gets rubbered in. I got to wonder if he was already at tight balance and maybe has used up a little too much of his right front. You heard his crew chief Marty come on and say, just take care of it. We'll take a big swing at it right here. See what we have for this next stage.
Going to be 2 to go. Stage 1, Mayer out front, Dylan.
Yeah, and it's all going according to plan right now for the 41 car. Told you pre-race that he was studying in the hole or between qualifying and the race, just the tendencies and things he needed to do as the leader of this race. And one of those was work with his teammate who started behind him on the restarts to get him shoved out in front of this field. They've done that. He's led everything today. The car is starting to migrate a little bit towards the tight side, though. Don't know if that's concerning when you're out front all by yourself in green air. Should be able to hang on for the stage win, but the gap between he and second place has definitely shrunk in these last couple of laps.
Yeah, really, since Justin Allgaier was able to make that pass on Eric Almirola for second, Allgaier has gotten to within a second of our race leader. I think he's going to be a little bit too far back, though. Half a second a lap faster would be what he's going to have to be to catch Sam Mayer. Mayer does have the fastest lap of the race still, which was a 54.549 back on lap 2. He's led every lap so far from the pole. Got a battle for position on the final couple laps of the stage around 10th place. Actually, it's just outside the top 10. That pass was for 11th. William Sawalch getting by Nick Sanchez. So stage points only awarded to the top 10 spots. Nobody's going to try to short pit here, even at the front of the pack for stage 1. Final lap of the stage. Mayer's about 0.4 of a second ahead of Allgaier. That last lap, Just Allgaier was 0.6 quicker than Sam Mayer, and he's definitely close enough to get in the draft. We'll see if he gets a run off turn 2. I didn't think there was any chance he had of trying to win this first stage, but now he's within striking distance. And for really one of the first times all day, Sam Mayer trying to break the draft down to the inside of the racetrack. Justin Allgaier wants this playoff point. Digging deep through turn 3. And through turn 4 one final time as we're on the last lap of the stage. Doesn't look like Justin Allgaier is going to get a run after Mayer, so Mayer will hold on, and Sam Mayer will win stage 1 at Indianapolis. Justin Allgaier second, Eric Almirola third, Brandon Jones in fourth, Connor Zilich rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Sixth place was Sheldon Creed, Jesse Love seventh, Kyle Larson 8th, Taylor Gray 9th, and Carson Quapple rounds out the top 10. 1 point per position for the stages, and a playoff point to Sam Mayer, who does not have a win yet this season. That is the third stage win of the year, though, for Mayer. As we complete the opening stage of today's race. Our chat poll will stay open until the end of stage 2 is when you have to vote for who you think is going to win. And then we'll tally up the votes from there. And at the end of stage 2, we'll have our diecast showing as well. Our theme for this weekend is former Brickyard 400 winners. Last night I showed off a Ryan Newman rookie diecast. Didn't win the Brickyard 400 that year specifically, but he's a former winner of the race from 2013. Started on pole, got the win in the 39 for SHR. It was the site of his last pole as well, was that 2013 Brickyard 400. 51, I believe, 51 or 52 poles in Ryan Newman's career. Yeah, Larson got up to 8th there in the first stage. Jones got by Zilich in the closing laps for 4th. Yeah, Zilich got up to 2nd place, and then as you heard on the radio call that he was complaining to his team that the car was getting very tight. It was shoving a ton in the corners. So massive adjustments probably coming up for the 88 when they get to their first pit stop of the day as we've reached the end of stage 1. Should be a pretty straightforward 2-stop race. No lead changes so far. And we'll see if the 41 team of Sam Mayer can keep the lead based off of pit stops. He didn't look like the fastest car at the end of the run, though. So now that Allgaier, Almirola, Zilich, they're all in the top 5 when they didn't qualify there. They have good enough pit stops even to be with Mayer on the next restart, even if they're not in front of him. That's less of a deficit they'll have to try to climb out of. Oh, really? Thanks for tuning in. Time is the race today. Race is on right now. Just wrapped up stage 1. 30 laps down out of 100 so far. Just about to have the first pit stops. Yeah, definitely hit that like button. Helps the streams out a ton when we do these live commentary streams. For the percentage of likes versus people watching, that helps pump the YouTube algorithm out there, so this gets recommended under other related NASCAR content on YouTube from other NASCAR-related YouTube channels. So that's why hitting the like button is really important on these streams. I try to set a goal just for like the fun of things. Usually we do hit those goals. Today's goal was 50, but man, if we can double that, get to 100, even better. We're at 40 already. We're not even halfway through the race yet, so we could get to 100. Subscribe button works the same way. So the 07 of Logan Bearden, who did not get on the track on the initial start of the race. I think did come back around to complete a lap or two after he came to the pits. At some point during that stage, but he has since returned to the garage. David Starr, I don't know if he made an unscheduled pit stop or whatnot, but he ended up going a lap down. So Starr will get the free pass and get back on the lead lap. All 37 cars that remain on the track will be on the lead lap to begin stage 2. Scott White, thanks for tuning in. Where's Larson after stage 1? 8th. Prior to pit stops, which we'll see here in a couple moments. Just came back from commercial. Yeah, it's also free to hit the like button and subscribe button. Yes, it is. It does not cost anything to subscribe to a YouTube channel. Patrick Shadley, thanks for tuning in. Great to have Indianapolis Oval back. Yes, it is. Yeah, I really did not want them to go to the road course. I'm fine with the Xfinity Series if they want to race the road course, but we need our traditional Brickyard 400 back. And we got it back last year. Oh boy, we've got some thunderstorms creeping in here from the south. Dover got rain shortened last week for the Xfinity Series. Those are some heavy storms, too. That could bring some lightning delays. Now, we do have to get to halfway to make this official. We're at lap 33 right now. Lap 50 would be the halfway mark. These guys can only go about 40 laps on fuel anyway, so they should be hitting pit road this time because we couldn't even get to halfway on the current fuel tank anyways. But that might split some strategy up closer to the end of stage 2, depending on how close those storms get. Sam Mayer going to lead the field onto pit road. Allgaier and the rest of the field follow.
Race on a cycle of stops. First opportunity coming into stage 1. Let's go to Progressive Pit Road. Here's Dylan.
And Sam Mayer, the winner of this stage, will be the first one to reach his marks at the top of the screen. Pretty happy with the race car throughout the course of that run, but as we said, it built tight. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. Crew Chief Jason Trincheri expects to maybe be in a little bit of traffic here at start of stage 2, so they didn't want to over-adjust it. Weren't exactly sure what their balance was going to be, Cam.
See the 19 there in the middle of your screen. He said too tight, can't finish the corner on throttle. He said it's manageable at the beginning of the run, but not at the end. They're looking for a smooth stop here after slow stops played this last week's line adjustment. And then just after there on the bottom, taking a wet adjustment as well as that right rear air pressure. He said he needs the front end to cut just a little bit more.
Kyle Larson coming out of his pit. I thought he was going to collide with the 54 of Taylor Gray. Look at this. Almirola.
Almirola wins the race out of the pits. Sam Mayer loses 3 positions, falls out of the lead. He is now back to 4th. Kyle Larson falls out of the top. Sorry, I apologize for that. He gains 2 positions. I didn't see him there. Larson gains 2 spots. He moves up to 6th. Almirola from 3rd to 1st in the pit area. So I'm on my Weather Channel app looking at the hour-by-hour forecast on Speedway, Indiana, which is where the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is located. And it showed me a 45% chance of rain in the 6 and 7 o'clock hours. It's 5:33 local time right now. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up my Google Maps because it looks like the storms, as of right now, are around Cloverdale, Indiana. They're just getting into there. So I'll try to track exactly how far the storms are. Cloverdale. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 40 minutes. So the storms are about 40 minutes drive time wise. The storm itself probably won't move quite that quick, because that would be like highway speed. I doubt the storms were moving, 70 miles an hour. About 43 miles is what it was looking like. So the storms are about 43 miles west of Indianapolis, southwest specifically. To give you an update on where the thunder shower is. Now, if lightning strikes within an 8-mile radius of the racetrack, then that would cause us to go under red before the rain gets there. So if you do the math, then the storm would be still another 35 miles out from that 8-mile radius. Got one coming 500 miles from Indianapolis. Well, we should easily get to halfway. Getting to the end of the race is going to be a bit questionable. Obviously, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway does not have lights, so that can make things a little difficult as far as trying to get to our scheduled distance as well. May make the restarts more and more chaotic if we get more of them. That caution for incident, by the way, from Harrison Burton, I didn't mention it. I didn't hear it on the broadcast when I had them playing during that, the audio-wise during that caution. But that's the first yellow for incident that we have seen in 3 races. There was 0 cautions for incident in Sonoma. The only cautions were the stage ends. And then last week, the only cautions were the stage ends, and then the race ended under yellow because of the rain. So we didn't actually have a wreck then either. So this is the first time in 3 races that we've had a caution for some sort of an incident. And that was back on lap 3 with Harrison Burton off of turn 2. And he is still in the race. And the back half of that run actually recovered to 17th. Not too shabby. Which is actually about a spot better than what he was running at the time of the spin. Should have probably one more lap of caution. And I would expect the field will be getting the 1 to go signal this time by. Bad Guys 2 promos back. Yes, it is. I've seen that a couple times already. Jojo, thanks for tuning in. So Almirola, after winning the race off of pit road, again, is the race leader. That was technically our first lead change of the day as well. Sam Mayer led every lap of stage 1 from the pole. Showed a replay of Sam Mayer's pit stop to see where the team lost time. Because they did lose 3 positions in the pits. I mean, the gas man fell over, but that was well after the pit stop was pretty much completed. Tripped on the tire that was laying there. Had to come off of the car from the right side. Kind of caught himself on the tire. Spilled a little gas, but we're all right. He'll clean himself up later. Concrete dry much faster than asphalt. The fact that this track is 2.5 miles in length, though, I think if it rains, it's going to be over. We only have about 2.5 hours of daylight left. And it would take this track every bit of 90 minutes to dry. in the event of rain and we end up losing the track. And with how much race we still have left, and obviously the rain hasn't even gotten here yet, I don't think it's very likely we get back to racing at all today if the rain hits. So we shall see. Maybe it misses to the south. Maybe it just, the wind changes directions and it doesn't even hit the racetrack. That would be ideal. Right, so Almirola and Justin Allgaier on this restart up at the front of the field. Allgaier gets a push from Brandon Jones on the outside of row number 1. He's going to actually beat Almirola to the line. Taylor Gray pulling out of line 3 wide underneath Sam Mayer and William Sawalich right around row 4. Smart move by Sawalich, kind of backing out of line and letting those guys go around him. He would have been on the outside of that. Still side by side for the lead up at the front of the field. Oh, contact and into the turn 2 wall is Nick Sanchez. That was after contact with Christian Eckes. We stayed green. Both cars had significant contact with one another. I was about to say it was side by side for the lead off turn 2, and then that happened. Still side by side for the lead, and on corner entry into turn 3, Allgaier sails it in deep on the outside. Maybe a little too deep though, and Almirola came charging right back up the bottom again. And off the exit of turn 4, they're still door-to-door for the lead. This could slow him down quite a bit. As they side draft down the front stretch, Connor Zilic in 3rd place right behind him is not going to pull out of line 3 wide. In fact, he's going to help his teammate Allgaier. He gives his teammate the bump draft. Allgaier is now clear into turn 1, and Zilic is going to be clear for 2nd. So not only teamwork to get the leader out in front, which was a teammate, but also for himself to move into 2nd that way. So 7 and 88 are 1-2. After Allgaier and Zilic 1st and 2nd, Eric Almirola is in 3rd. Taylor Gray makes a move for 4th. And Kyle Larson will follow Gray and move up into 5th. That is the top 5. First time Larson's cracked the top 5 today. I think the top 3 are probably the fastest in the field, minus what speed Larson may have, but he was back at traffic in stage 1, so we really don't know for sure. And Zilic was the slowest of the top 3 on the long run. And Justin Allgaier probably looked the best at the end of that 30-lap opening stage. Jones loses another spot to Jesse Love for 6th. Falls right back in line in the short chute between turns 1 and 2. Sam Mayer, after winning stage 1, lost 3 positions on the pit stop, lost even more spots on the restart, falls from 4th to 10th in the first 3.5 laps of the restart. Carson Kvapil side drafted him. That's going to slow both cars down. Even Sheldon Creed, who started in 3rd today, is outside the top 10 as well. So Haas looking good early, not so good in the mid portion of the race. And with this being a shorter race, because it's an Xfinity event, only 250 miles, and make it rain short and make it even shorter, I don't like their chances of getting at least a competitive day today when it comes to a race win performance. Right rear tires down on Nick Sanchez number 48 car. After making contact with the wall a little bit ago, he'll try to limp his way to pit road. Carcass of that tire didn't come off, so we do stay green. I don't think there's any debris on the racetrack. Kyle Larson just moved past Taylor Gray for 4th place on the racetrack as well. Larson's about 2 seconds off the race lead. So Eckes, who had quite a bit of contact in there, he kept it off the wall, but he kind of sandwiched the 48 up into the wall. So Nick Sanchez had some damage on both sides of the car. Haven't seen a tire rub for Eckes up to this point. Christian is in 20th at the moment. William Sawalich making some hay. Forward through the field on this restart. Going to try to get by Jesse Love for position. Both of those two side drafting each other. And Kvapil on the outside gets by Love and Sawalich. Great move by Carson Kvapil. Maybe a little bit over aggressiveness on the side draft for Jesse Love. Costed him a couple of spots there. Sam Mayer also going to get by. And now Love stuck on the outside out of turn 2. And Ryan Sieg is going to look to make a pass as well. All that going on in the back half of the top 10. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Allgaier continues to lead all the green flag laps of the stage. Despite restarting on the outside of row 1, he was able to beat the 19 of Eric Almirola with help on the front stretch by his teammate Connor Zilic, giving him the push on that first lap back to the yard of bricks. Zilic is still 0.6 of a second off the lead, though, in second. Eric Almirola 0.9 back in third. Kyle Larson 2.5 seconds off the lead in fourth, and 3 seconds back is Taylor Gray in fifth. So that's the top 5, the intervals between those top 5 positions. I believe CW will be headed to a commercial break here, so we will actually just go through the full field running order now with about 58 laps to go in the race, almost halfway. Justin Allgaier leads, Connor Zilic in second, Eric Almirola third, Kyle Larson fourth, Taylor Gray in fifth, then sixth is Brandon Jones, Carson Kvapil seventh, William Sawalich eighth, Sam Mayer ninth, Jesse Love in 10th, Ryan Sieg is 11th, Sheldon Creed 12th, Dean Thompson 13th, Daniel Dye 14th, 15th for Jeb Burton, Sammy Smith in 16th, Matt DiBenedetto 17th, Austin Hill 18th, Harrison Burton 19th, and 20th is Jeremy Clements. Anthony Alfredo 21st, Parker Retzlaff 22nd, 23rd, Josh Williams, Ryan Ellis 24th, Kyle Sieg 25th, Brendan Poole 26th, Leland Honeyman 27th, Christian Eck is 28th, Josh Bilicki 29th, and Catherine Legan 30th. Garrett Smithley 31st, Mason Massey 32nd, Blaine Perkins 33rd, 34th Joey Gase, Dawson Cram 35th, and David Starr 36th. Nick Sanchez, after making that unscheduled pit stop on the restart because of a flat right rear, is 2 laps down in 37th. Logan Bearden back on the racetrack after mechanical issues at the very start of the race, but he's 30 laps down at 38. So 36 on the lead lap, but all 38 cars are now on the track and back in the race if they were in the garage for a significant period of time from earlier. As we're almost halfway, only one caution for incident back on lap 3 for Harrison Burton, spin off of turn 2. 3 lead changes so far. Justin Allgaier, first time he has led today, slowly trying to bridge a gap between himself and his teammate Zilic in second. Almirola still tight to the back of that 88 car who struggled on the long run in stage 1. So we'll see if Eric can get by him if Zilic's car continues to grow tight like it did earlier. Or maybe the 88 made some adjustments and this car will be better on the long run than it was earlier. And if that's the case, will be as good as the 7. And the 19 who is obviously competing with him for position as well. We'll take a quick break. You're listening live on KRC. Coverage of the Pennzoil 250 at Indy continues. Doodlebug 5, thanks for tuning back in. 2 hours to dry the track off. Yeah, that seems about right. 90 minutes was being a little generous. I would say at least 90 minutes. If not longer. We've got barely over 2 hours of daylight right now. So by the time, if it were to rain, I'm sure we'd probably be under 90 minutes of daylight left anyway. So like I said, we'll see how the strategy plays out at the end of the stage. If anybody maybe chooses to stay out just for an extra 10 laps if they think the storms are that close. Because again, it might be the Lightning that we're battling first. If Lightning strikes within an 8-mile radius of the racetrack, we go on a delay and then we get hit by the thunderstorm, then the race is going to reach its point a little bit sooner. We're 5 laps shy of halfway from making this thing official here this afternoon. Sam Mayer, Jesse Love now working together after being foes battling for position a little bit ago. They'll get by William Sawalich on the front stretch. And I think those passes were for 7th and 8th. Yes, they were.
Motor Speedway tomorrow.
8th and 9th, actually.
Center stage, 29th running of the Brickyard 400. Coverage starts with NASCAR Nation on TNT, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Closed captioning for this race brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Talk about the Brickyard 400 tomorrow. Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to be a part of the broadcast team there. And he's hoping to celebrate here today. JRM going for win number 100 in the organization's history. look good right now, running 1-2 out front with Allgaier leading Zilich.
He made me feel so good at dinner last night when he was like, "Hey, if we win this tomorrow and it's our 100th win," he's like, "I'd like for you to come to Victory Lane." And it meant the world to me because getting to drive for him back in 2010 and being able to win a race, especially when JRM was young, both he and Kelly, it was really special for him to say that. And I hope I get to go down there and celebrate them today. It'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be the 4th organization to hit the century mark. 2nd to do it this year. You see, bottom of the screen, RCR got it done earlier this season when Austin Hill won that thriller at Martinsville. They hit 100.
And I told him, if not, we'll do it in Iowa next week, right? We'll all get together in Iowa and then do it there. So not in Indy. I think it's such a testament to their dedication to this series from JRM. You know, the cars they put on the racetrack year after year. Just a huge shout out to Dale and Kelly Earnhardt who support this series, provide so many drivers with a platform to go on to the next level or to have a career in the Xfinity series like Justin Allgaier.
On board Matt DiBenedetto of the Savannah Bananas onboard camera, the banana cam.
And it's warm. I look at there.
The
I
banana.
want to know where that's placed because it seems low. I can tell you that down by a speed, it's way hotter than way hot. And I like that we put it up high. I mean, it's obviously would register a lot hotter down low, but that's the coolest part of the car right there. When you get the suit on, and we heard Allgaier talk about earlier if his cool suit was working or if it wasn't. When you sit in these cars for 2 or 3 hours at a time, it's mentally draining on your body. Obviously, you get dehydrated, but the focus when it's that hot inside the car, Parker, it's a challenge. And I've got some info for you. The actual sensor is down near his back, there on the back of the seat. Did you use all that? Oh, well, I knew that. Okay, yeah, I have that. Parker knows it all. Everything. Yeah, once you finally learn that, yeah, easier. I'm slowly learning. I'll tell you right now.
And after today, we only have 5 races remaining in the regular season. And, you know, we filled up 7 of the 12 positions in the playoffs. But you look here at the cut, and 8 points separate Jed Burton and Harrison Burton. And on track, they're 17th and 18th. It's just remarkable how they find each other every week.
And so we talked about this in the pre-race show, like, you know, who's going to come out on top? And my answer to that is who has the least amount of troubles? Like, who doesn't make the mistakes? We thought we saw a mistake from Harrison Burton earlier on, as you see right there, nose to tail. Oh, as you see trouble now. Well, it's like another engine issue. Yeah, 16 or something.
No.
Right front down, maybe? Yeah, right.
Right front tire. He had contact earlier.
He had that contact with the 40 inches in turn 2 on the restart. Dylan, you got more?
Yeah, well, so you mentioned it. The right front splitter was kind of knocked askew, I think, from some of that contact earlier, and then it just it sounds like cut the right front down. So they're going to come down here and just change right sides and try to minimize time lost as much as they can.
It doesn't look like there's that much damage. I got to think something else is possible. Well, small rubber, it got a cut there, and eventually over time that just ends up blowing the tire there. But I mean, not surprising for the 16-year the way they're and it's gone. The other thing that's not surprising.
Yeah, look at Larson. Drives around, roll for 3rd. Started 19th. And he has really done a nice job of just taking it as it comes, not over pushing the car, and just continues to put himself in position.
It hasn't been spectacular. Right, like I feel like typically when we think about Kyle Larson, we think about right against the wall. Something spectacular happening during the race, but you mentioned it. He's just picking them off one at a time. The pit crew did an exceptional job. He did a nice job getting on and off pit road. And you got to think if you're Connor Zilich, Justin Allgaier, and you look in the mirror and you see the 17, you knew that he was going to get there at some point, but you better start working on your car because his lap times are really good. And he's going to be there at the end of this. You see HendrickCars.com. Your mirror on the series right now. Kyle Larson at the wheel. That's an intimidating sight.
Top 5 looks a little different. You know, Allgaier's up there with Zilich. Larson now in 3rd. Almirola back to 4th. Taylor Gray, the rookie, is in 5th. 10 to go, stage 2.
Well, with 10 laps left in the stage, our top 10 runs with Justin Allgaier in the lead. Connor Zilich still in 2nd. Kyle Larson 3rd. Eric Almirola 4th. And Taylor Gray rounding out the top 5 in 5th. Brandon Jones is 6th. Carson Kvapil 7th. Sam Mayer 8th. Jesse Love 9th. And William Sawalich will round out our current top 10. 10th of a second back to Zilich in 2nd. Larson's 2 seconds off the lead in 3rd. 2.4 for Almirola in 4th. Gray 5.7 seconds off the lead in 5th. And then Brandon Jones 6.9 seconds back in 6th. Carson Kvapil in 7th. 11.9 seconds off the lead. 12 seconds back. Sam Mayer in 8th. 12.3 to Jesse Love in 9th. And Sawalich is 13.5 back. 12.5 back, excuse me, in 10th. Zilic putting a lot of pressure on Justin Allgaier right now for this race lead. Definitely looking like the 88 went the right way with whatever adjustments they made to try to free the car up a bit, because he's able to run super tight to the back bumper of the 7, where that was not the case, and he was actually dropping spots at this point in the run back in stage 1. Zilic with a run down the back straightaway, looks low. Allgaier tried to block, but to no avail, and Zilic is clear into turn 3. The rookie, who is on just an utter hot streak, really, through these summer months, trying to win for the 3rd consecutive week, and also trying to win on his 3rd consecutive oval. He'll hold clear of Allgaier off turn 4, and he actually pulls him a bit down this front straightaway. Allgaier trying to keep it close in the draft. Those two running side by side, even for that one straightaway. Larson now only 1.4 seconds off the lead. Still 8 laps to go yet in stage number 2. We have made this thing official if we were to see rain. We are at 47 laps to go, just past lap 50, which would have been halfway out of 100. Allgaier getting another run on the back straightaway this go around, but he is not going to try to make the pass attempt this time. We'll take another quick break here before we get to the end of stage 2. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now Allgaier not letting Zilic go. I thought that Indianapolis Xfinity race last year was one of the better Xfinity races of the season, honestly. And maybe we're shaping up for something like that today if we could see the entirety of this 100-lap event, which I'm hoping that that would be the case. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, the fans, would be hoping for that as well. Zilic a bit wide up off turn 2. Allgaier on the back bumper of the 88. But again, kind of loses time down the straightaway. I just think Zilic is going wide off the corners because he's trying to stand in the gas as soon as he can. While it looks like he's getting tight and losing time, he's actually beating the 7 back to the gas, and Allgaier's not able to really capitalize off of that. Allgaier looking a little bit lower. Off the exit of turn 4 yet again. 5 laps to go, though, in stage number 2. Allgaier gains a ton through turn 1. And we'll see how turn 2 is going to go for him now. Obviously, the closer he gets behind the 88, the worse his car is going to turn in the center of the corner. He actually lost a little bit of ground in turn 2. Kyle Larson is actually faster than both of these top 2 cars in front of him. Larson was 4/10 quicker than both Allgaier and Zilic the last lap. And Larson's within 1 second of the race lead. If the 7 gets side by side with the 88, Larson's going to have a huge run. Especially if he can get just a little bit closer to the back of these two first. He may try to sail it in there and get both of them at the same time. Zilic is trying to hold on for dear life. There is a lap car, quite a few of them actually, in front of the leaders. Could get in the way of Zilic, and then he might have to battle with some sort of dirty air in the middle of the corner for the next couple laps. Larson is still the quickest car on the racetrack, or at least even lap times between Larson, Allgaier, and Zilic. They actually all ran within 8 1/1000ths of a second of one another that last lap. Zilic tucked behind Dawson Cram in the 74. He'll pull out of line and pass him into turn 3. Got a little extra draft down the back straightaway. Maybe pulled Allgaier just a bit. Didn't overdrive the entry into turn 3, getting by the lapper either. Out of turn 4, Justin Allgaier. Staying in the draft. Again, there's a headwind down the front stretch, tailwind down the back. Most of the passes made today have been down the back straightaway. Zilic looks low out of turn 1. It's going to be an awkward angle into turn 2 for Zilic because of having to clear the lap car of the 31 first. Does that give Allgaier a little bit of an advantage down the backstretch? Hand out the window for the 35. He's directing the 88 underneath him. But there's still going to be an awkward angle with a flatter entry for both the 7 and the 88, really. I don't think either one had an advantage getting through that corner. If anything, Kyle Larson was maybe able to enter turn 3 better than the 2 cars in front of him. He didn't catch the 35 car until the chute between 3 and 4. Larson's still about 8/10 back. And Christian Eckes, next car in front of the leaders. All right, Allgaier back on the attack again. Once I got through those lap cars, it looked like that might have actually helped Connor Zilisch. If anything, he was able to get a pole in the draft down these longer straightaways. Kind of the same way that the Indy 500 was won by Alex Palou earlier this year, where there were a couple lap cars that were running just fast enough in front of the leaders he could draft off of and keep whatever momentum that could have came from behind from disallowing basically the driver from behind to overtake him for the lead in those final 14 or so laps after he got out in front. Kind of a similar aspect there, but because those cars were much slower, eventually Zilisch and Allgaier were going to get by him. And we were going to get back to these two racing it out amongst themselves again, as we are. 2 more laps in stage 2. At least 1 more lap car is going to be caught by these top 2. Headed down the back straightaway right now. Larson actually lost time to the top 2 that last lap. He's 1.1 seconds back now. Through 3 and 4, a big closing rate through turn 3 for Justin Allgaier as he gets closer into turn 4. Is he going to break tight again? He does not. He's all over the back of the 88. But can't slip to the inside off the exit of the corner. 1 lap to go in stage 2. Sam Mayer barely held on in front of Justin Allgaier for stage 1. Will that be the case here for stage 2 if Allgaier finishes in a very close second spot? 2 lap cars right in front of Connor Zilisch. One of which is Christian Eckes, who has fresher tires after having to make the unscheduled pit stop during this stage. Zilisch held on through 1 and 2, down the back straightaway, gets a pole up the 16. He's going to have to deal with some dirty air through turn 3. And this might be an advantage for Allgaier. All over the back bumper out of 3 into 4. Justin Allgaier is just right on the back bumper of Zilisch, and now he'll take a peek low. Zilisch tried to block him, but he can't do it. Allgaier side drafts as they head for the yard of bricks. Zilisch side drafts him back, but he can't get him, and Justin Allgaier by a nose is going to win stage 2. As they were drag racing to the line on turn 4, I think it's pretty safe to say Christian Eckes probably costed Connor Zilisch the stage win. Because I don't think the 7 was getting by the 88 had the 88 had clean air in front of him, which he did not. And Eckes was trying to keep from going 2 laps down because he already lost 1 lap with the unscheduled pit stop. So that's why he was battling as hard as he was. But Justin Allgaier beats out the rookie. Side draft was just enough to get it done. A little less than half a car length. Victory there for Allgaier. The words of Larry McReynolds, he timed it perfect. Yep. Justin Allgaier. See how many stage wins he has on the season now. Stage win number 7 on the year for Allgaier. And he's battling Zilich for the regular season championship, too. So, pretty testy battle for the stage win in and of itself, even though it was 1 point between the two spots. That's a 2-point swing overall. So Zilich, a very close second, just over 200s back of Allgaier when they cross the start-finish line. Kyle Larson ends up in third. He's right there. Eric Almirola fourth, Taylor Gray fifth, and Brandon Jones in sixth, Sam Mayer seventh, Carson Quapple eighth, Jesse Love ninth, and William Sawalich rounding out our top 10. We're going to end our chat poll since it's the end of stage 2. Looks like 98 of you voted for who you think is going to win today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Indy. Kyle Larson wins that poll at 44%. He hasn't led yet, but he's up to third after starting 19th. Connor Zilich, who finished second in this last stage, is at 32% of the votes. Other at 15%, which Justin Allgaier would fall under that after winning stage 2. And only 7% of you took Sam Mayer, who has kind of dropped like a rock since he got back in traffic, with Mayer finishing 7th in the stage. He was back as far as 10, so he did recover some of those positions lost on the restart to begin the last stage. But again, the race is official. Race is official. If we do get that rainstorm that at the end of stage 1 was about 43 miles southwest of Indianapolis. Speedway, Indiana specifically. Corey Gibson, thanks for tuning in. Zilich takes Larson to school? Who said that? Is that what you're saying? Frederico Sanchez, thanks for tuning in. Did I accidentally say that? Is that what you're saying? Hopefully I didn't say that. Hopefully I didn't butcher the commentary there. We'll have the diecast showing once we get the pit stops on the other side of this commercial break on the CW. For right now, we'll take a break of our own while we're waiting that out. You're listening live. Pennzoil 250 coverage continues on the channel. Didn't know we're under rain. Potential rain. It's looming. Just hasn't gotten there yet. Hopefully we stay dry. By the time we get this next restart in, we're going to have not many laps left. A little over 30 to go or so. Stage yellow ended up lasting 7 laps earlier, so I'd imagine we'll have a little less than 35 laps to go in the next restart.
GoodRx. For simple, smart savings on your prescriptions, check GoodRx. Toyota, let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express card. How about that finish ending stage 2? Allgaier just in front of Connor Zilich, Larson, Almirola, Gray, the top 5. Good stage points there for Taylor Gray.
I hope the finish looks just like that.
Man, that was fun to watch.
That was awesome. That's a side drafting masterclass by Justin Allgaier right there.
I'd say if it's the last lap, we'll have more smoke.
Yeah, the few more contacts.
Yeah.
Well, he laid that right front quarter panel, the left front quarter panel well.
3 rookies finishing top 10. They get 4 rookies finishing top 10 in stage 2. Progressive Pit Road is open, and it's about to get really busy, Dylan Welch.
And some crucial stops here. Should be the final one for the day. Taylor Gray, very first pit stall off of turn number 4. Said his car just built about a number and a quarter too tight. So not super tight, just a little bit. Gonna make a small air pressure adjustment. 4 tires and fuel for him. Kyle Larson as well, top of the screen. Another one who's battled a tight condition today. Mostly on corner and exit. Adam Wall, the crew chief, said, we'll take a bigger swing at it. Just needed to see what the racetrack and sticker tires we're gonna do. Chassis adjustment, 4 tires, Dan.
Village in the middle of your screen said, sorry about that. I just got so tight. Said I fire up free, but it's tighter and tighter. We're going to kill the right front like that. They will take a bigger adjustment on this. It is a JRM problem, having better balance in traffic. Just now they're saying it's so weird. I can be freer out front, so they'll free him up. Hopefully getting the lead here.
Race off pit road. And it's going to be Justin Allgaier who takes it off the progressive pit lane. Larson second, +3 for Jones, +3 for Mayer. And look at Connor Zilich, -3. And that is really big because everybody talking about the radar coming this way. And the restart when we come back could be what decides this one in Indy. Stick around.
Yeah, a little less than 3 hours of daylight. I did see that sunset is 9:03 Eastern in Speedway, Indiana. So I would imagine that is the cutoff time for NASCAR for tonight's race. So probably the same for tomorrow's Brickyard 400 in the event of the same situation. Tomorrow's race starts much earlier than today's, obviously with Cup practice and qualifying and Xfinity qualifying late morning into early afternoon earlier. It's about as early as we could have gotten this thing started. We're getting close to the finish. I mean, we only have 36 laps to go. The problem is 36 laps at Indy's not like 36 laps at Bristol. It's going to take a little bit yet. About an hour and 20 minutes to get through the first 64 laps, and that was with only one caution for incident, and then the 2 stage yellows. Overall have been the 2 cautions. Justin Allgaier won the race off pit road. Kyle Larson picked up a spot. He's up to second. Zilich, who finished second in that last stage by nose, loses 3 positions in the pits and falls to 5th. Our theme for this week with the diecast showings is Brickyard 400 former winners. Here is a former 2-time Brickyard 400 winner, Kevin Harvick. And the 29, this is his 4 car. I can see the number. All right, I see it. It's number 4. This diecast specifically is from the 2021 Bristol night race where he was heated at Chase Elliott after the race was over, slamming his helmet on the roof of the race car. But subway scheme, and this is specifically for 2021. I was at this race, and I actually really liked this scheme that night too. And because it was a classic, an instant classic at Bristol, I figured, I'm going to get this diecast. One of the more funny rivalries, by the way, in my eyes, in recent years, with what followed at the Roval between Harvick and Elliott. But that is the diecast showing for today's live commentary stream. Out of technicality, with Harvick winning the, I almost said the Indy 500, the Brickyard 400 2019-2020, he was the defending winner of this race up until last season when Larson won, with 21 through 2023 being ran on the road course configuration. So Larson's going to be on the front row for this restart. Justin Allgaier on the outside of row 1 was able to get to the lead because he was able to hang with Eric Almirola for long enough and then get the push from the tailing car, which was his teammate at the time, Connor Zilich. And both of them were able to get by Eric Almirola. Almirola has dropped back quite a bit in the running order. He bled a couple more positions before the end of stage 2, and I think he had a pretty slow pit stop or something, because he's not even in the top 10 anymore. 13th is where Almirola sits. Rain moving in. Are they halfway? Yes, they are past halfway. Lap 65 of 100. 15 laps past halfway. Man, it'd be weird to see 2 rain-shortened Xfinity races in a row. I wonder when the last time that's happened.
The NBC Family Network takes over coverage of the Cup Series next weekend in Iowa. USA is where we're getting it done. 3 o'clock Eastern time, Sunday afternoon. Ryan Blaney trying for 2 in a row.
We had an awesome race there last year. It was a great race with the repave. This will take us all the way to the playoffs and the championship side on the instant family.
Playoffs.
Last 4 races of the regular season, and then the run
Talk about
to the top.
playoffs.
CW is going bananas. The Savannah Bananas make their broadcast network debut tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, they've.
On the CW. Don't miss the greatest show in sports entertainment, the Savannah.
I don't know how much Savannah Bananas paid CW for their advertising rights during the NASCAR race today. But my goodness, this is like the 3rd or 4th time they've advertised this.
I can tell you, bananas in this booth.
Oh my God.
It's on Instagram.
Banana Ditto. It's not paying off. Look at that outfit.
I gotta say, all these years of working on De Benedetto, and now he's changed it to Bananadetto.
What's he do somehow?
I don't know.
Bananadetto.
By accident. Let's get an update on those pit stops. We'll follow up here, Kim.
Yeah, we saw Connor Zilic come in the 2nd position, leave in the 5th, losing a couple of spots, checked in with the team. The changer on the rear had an issue with the gun when he was on the right side of the car. The button drop, meaning the direction of the air gun that takes the tires on and off, went the opposite direction and needed to, slowing up that stop. And that's going to matter. Even, 3 positions matters at this point with impending weather. Lots of talk on the radio about weather in the area and what it's going to do here in the final stage.
Here's Sam Mayer radio, driver 41.
The weather's pretty close. Really? Yeah, that's lightning in the pretty lightning recording thing before the rain gets there. Yeah, the rain was coming out like before the end of the rain.
Man, there's a whole lot to think about here.
Go. That's what it means. Just go.
Just
Couple
go.
of updates. Eric Almirola 4th to 13th on the cycle of stops. Jesse Love 9th to 17th. Leland Honeyman goes 2 tires, 23rd to 9th for driver 70. Front row, Allgaier, Larson. This will be good to begin the final stage.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is that cell was small because of the location of Indy and the state. It's going to stay daylight for a while, so we might have a chance. If it does rain, of getting it going again.
No, that ain't happening, Jamie.
You were going to work that in. Row 2, Brandon
You're fibbing.
Jones, Sam Mayer. Let the entertainment begin here in Indy.
See both of those cars on the front row getting help from the cars behind. Can Larson stay on Allgaier's quarter?
Oh, he's got him.
Allgaier out. That's going to put Larson maybe in the best position.
Larson outside. Takes over the race lead.
Oh, he had to bail out of it. Connor Zilic went through the middle 3 wide.
Oh!
The outside here on 2. We got Carson Quapo around.
Going into the wall. Like Daniel Dye was there behind him. No, that was Honeyman.
That's so unfortunate for Carson. Had a good run going.
Yeah, he was 7th.
It's such a shame. He was so excited about this race, ran great. But I have to think it was around Leland Honeyman who took those 2 tires. There was a lot of congestion there. I'm curious to see if Leland is kind of holding up some other cars on newer tires.
Maybe got moved out of the way.
Yeah, moved out of the way, got loose. Doesn't matter for Carson Quapo, the end result is a tore up race car.
And Allgaier, I'm sure he's furious at Brandon Jones for pulling out right there and not sticking with him. It's really hard. I mean, Jones is going for the win, but see right here,
So 3, yeah.
3
so
wide.
Leland just starts to lose the race car. They're 3 wide. They're really pinching each other. There's not a lot of room. No side force there. He's on those 2 tires, which means he just doesn't have the same grip level as everyone else around him.
he was way up the track. Honeyman was. I don't know if someone was underneath it right there.
Now, I just think he truly didn't have the grip that the other cars had to be in that position.
Yep.
And unfortunately took. Yeah, you see,
You see how high he is right
just
there.
going up the track, walking out.
Knowledge, though. I mean, just for him to hang on to.
Yeah, great job, William.
Second caution for incident today. 4th overall. Larson leading. Allgaier, Mayer, Zilic, and Brandon Jones. Your top 5 in Indianapolis. 33 to go. CW.
Well, well, well. Caution's out again here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I have a feeling that this is going to be the restarts upcoming until that rain comes, because Drivers are going to end up losing their heads, trying to get every position they can because any restart could be the last one. I mean, it could be in theoretics, even if we didn't have rain coming, but with the rain coming, instead of going from like 32 to 33 laps to go like we have right now under the caution, it could be more like 10 laps to go, 15 or less or more. We don't know. Any lap could be the last lap really at this point. I don't think we're going to get back to racing. I mean, we have 2.5 hours of daylight nearly at the moment. If we lose the racetrack, 90 plus minutes to dry it off, and that's from the time it stops raining. And it looks like it's a pretty heavy storm coming too, so I don't think it's going to blow through very quickly. We'll be live until they make it official, but I don't expect them to wait it out terribly long. I don't know what time the coverage ends on the CW side, because I mentioned that in streams before. Usually in the event that they would call it when it looks like it's nearly impossible to get the race in, they usually wait until the end of the TV window. TV window doesn't end until 8 o'clock. So I think they're going to wait this out for a good bit before they call it. Even though I don't think it's very likely we get back to racing. Well, we end up getting a rain delay. Obviously, we'll end up with some NASCAR trivia to bypass time if we get there. Larson to the lead for the first time today off of that last restart. Quite a bit of damage to Carson Quapple's back bumper. Sam Mayer with some damage. Or sorry, not Mayer. Mayer's actually up to third on the restart. Worked out rather well for him. I don't know if Justin Allgaier spun his tires or what happened there. Larson had him clear before they even got into the first turn. The next thing you know, Justin Allgaier was 3 wide middle entering turn 1. He came out of turn 2 with the second spot, so he should still be on the front row with Larson again.
Tires are no stranger to a clean getaway, and neither is Kyle Larson. 3-start, final stage, Indianapolis, coming from the outside lane of the 17.
Yeah, and I think Brandon Jones is actually pulling down to block Stillage. He looked like he was going to pull off, but the one with the big loss of that, he's lost control of the race now. Put Larson on the front row. Yeah, because there's an odd move. You wouldn't have done that, particularly to get the lead without major momentum, because you just weren't going to have the help. The outside cars will have a ton of aero effect to be able to side draft.
Check out more clean getaways, close calls, and non-stop action when the Bad Guys 2 hits theaters on August 1st. Get your tickets now. Getting ready for the choose. Oh, we're going to add a lap.
Getting a couple drop shots right now.
Uh-oh.
So there you go. We'll delay it a lap before we do the choose.
Such a big track that similar to like a Daytona or a Talladega.
Yeah, it does look like it.
It can be rain at one end and not at the other.
It's
So,
sprinkling.
And as I look on pit road, all the teams are putting up the covers.
Yeah.
The boxes.
Just look at this shot. I mean, that shot showed it, right? It's like, man, it's a beautiful day in Indianapolis. And as you said, Jamie, it's a big place. And there's rain. Maybe not all over the track, but we're certainly seeing it in parts.
It's dark around the track.
Let's get
looks
some
like
team radio
nighttime.
Here, Justin Allgaier.
I don't really know what I should have done different there. You know what I mean? I did all the race stuff. Couldn't leave any room to be 3 wide, so my only option is either cut the 20 off or wreck the 17. But either one are a good plan, you know? Well, let's try another lap here. Learn from it. Open forward.
And I think to his point, there's nothing he could have done there. You know, he couldn't react quick enough to what the 20 had done. There's no way. He probably ends up getting spun across his nose. And so he was really just put in an awkward position there with that.
And when we got to see the second replay of it, when you see the 88 going to the inside of the 20, The 20 was just reacting to that because if he lets the 88 get to the inside of him, he's in a bad position. So I don't think the 20's intention was to try to pass Justin right there. I mean, if you ideally what you want to do is push Justin by the 17, and then if you want to make a pass into turn 3, you could. But I think it was a little bit of a defensive move on Brandon Jones's part, just trying to keep Connor's irate because he had a bad pit stop, and he's trying to make all that up as quick as he can.
Let's go to Dylan.
Well, it's funny to see Kyle Larson at the front of the field. Been a little bit of an unconventional way to get there today, but after his comments at Bristol when he dominated the Xfinity Series race, if you remember, he spoke about how when he runs these Xfinity Series races, he wants to dominate. He wants to almost embarrass the rest of the Xfinity field. So the next race he ran was for the 88 team, and he told Marty Lindley, the crew chief, well, I guess I better put my money where my mouth is. So every time Kyle is in one of these Xfinity Series races, he knows that he's kind of made his bed with his prediction of how hard he wants to run these cars and what he wants to do to the rest of the field. So while today was not a dominating performance, it did take a team effort. And you saw Adam Wall there, the crew chief, just a little bit ago. He kind of echoed the same sentiments. He said, when we run these races with somebody like Kyle in our car, we're not here to just run around. We are here to win. We are here to dominate. It took the pit crew getting a good pit stop under their belt to get Kyle out in front of this field. And whether we go back green or not, it certainly has been another strong showing from the 17 team today, Carla.
Yeah, we know Justin Allgaier disappointed to give up that lead there, but he did get that stage 2 win, and we also know he's the only full-time driver with a win in 2018. We heard Jamie say that he's got his picture hanging up at his house. Well, so does Justin Allgaier. He's got a panoramic shot hanging up in his hallway. The only problem is that one of his little girls, only one, is in the photo, his youngest, only 4 years old, and he told me, she keeps asking me, Dad, why am I not in the photo? He said it just does not compute her, that she wasn't quite around in 2018. He said, I'd love to be able to get a win here, but especially for her, so I can have that very photo reprinted, guys.
And I would tell you guys that for me, I spent my whole life trying to make my parents proud of me. And then you have kids, and the transitions automatically to trying to make your kids proud of you. And so he wants to be able to have that photo, and that's so cool to see his kids go to victory lane with him and be able to kind of share as a family. So that's awesome.
I want to go back to Kyle Larson for a second. We talk about this program for Hendrick Motorsports coming over and running in the Xfinity Series. And anytime they put a Cup driver behind the wheel, they've been right there at the front, the favorite to win. And on multiple occasions, they've gotten it done. But they've also used it to develop some guys. And the one at the forefront is Corey Day. And Corey last night was running in a truck series and had a tremendous showing at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Finished second to Lane Riggs. Congratulations to Lane on getting the win. But Corey really showed what he was capable of racing in that event with Corey Heim. And Corey Day will be back behind the wheel of the 17 next weekend at Iowa. So their development program, getting some good reps for Corey Day, and he had a really, really good showing last night. And Adam Wall told me, the crew chief, we're really excited to get him back next weekend.
And Corey's development has been really quick, getting better each and every time he's in one of these cars. And I love this program because of how much Rick Hendrick is involved in. All he has going on in his universe of racing and all he does in the Cup Series, he loves this program and personally helps pick the races, which drivers should be in those races. He's seriously involved with it, and that's really cool just to know how much he loves having a car racing the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, and I wasn't completely shocked that he ran well at IRP last night because they moved around a lot. It kind of reminded me of dirt racing. So super happy for him to get a good run. I did notice that Adam Wall and Adam Alexander used the same barber.
Yeah, absolutely.
It pops up right there. Maybe one longer than what you do right
Yeah,
there.
he might be like a one guard, and I just go straight up.
Very similar cut. Yeah.
You talk about Hendrick Motorsports and the hierarchy and everything they put into this car. And you mentioned Rick Hendrick, but how many times have we been doing one of these track disqualifying sessions, even race day in Xfinity, and you see Chad Canals down in the pit lane overseeing things, right? Jeff Gordon's around. And I would say Greg Ives has played a huge role with this group, filled in for crew chief when Adam Wall was out. Very invested in their Xfinity program at Hendrick Motorsports, trying to win for the first time in Indy in the Xfinity Series. They've done it many times in Cup in the Brickyard 400. Weather delay, we're under caution.
Rocket Chip 4, thanks for tuning in, as well as many others. Dark clouds surround the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we are under caution for an incident that took place on the restart involving Carson Kvapil. and Christian Eckes. And during the midst of the caution, we've had some light sprinkles, which has extended the yellow by quite a bit. They were supposed to go green about 4 laps ago now, so we've had 4 extra laps of caution as NASCAR continues to just kind of wait it out. We haven't lost the track by any means at this point, so that's why cars are still turning laps. Just waiting that hopefully whatever sprinkling that is going on the racetrack just kind of dissipates. We get back to racing. But until that happens, we're going to stay under a caution pace. And I would imagine if it starts to rain any heavier than it is right now, they'll probably end up pulling the cars onto pit road and will then be under a red flag situation. Our raw feed's still showing that they're under yellow. And the red flag hasn't been displayed yet, so that is at least good for now. 28 laps to go this time by at Indy for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250. Our coverage continues live here on KRC. Yeah, Larson hasn't led a single green flag lap all day today. Got to the lead on that last restart. Caution came out before they get back to the yard of bricks. No lightning in the area as of the moment. With thunder showers nearing the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's definitely going to rain at the racetrack. Will they get the race in before that or not? I'd probably lean towards not, but 28 to go, we shall see. Get that vortex theory going. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, they've given them the 1 to go signal. Larson will be on the inside of row 1 this time and Justin Allgaier on the outside. I'm shocked that with Larson taking the inside this time after just getting to the lead on the outside of row 1. And being the launch car, you would think that that could be better for him.
I'm starting to think we got a chance here now. I mean, you see the radar.
It's our radar is not good. I'm telling you right now.
But it's
radar's terrible.
It's breaking up a little bit. And not all the green is rain. I know that sounds crazy, but some of that is just a false return. It's splitting us a little bit, so much so that NASCAR said, let's do the choose. We're getting ready for a restart. Allgaier outside of Larson. Here's 7 radio.
Hey, buddy, if we get a restart, thank you.
No pressure. The boss just came up.
That was a code word for don't mess this up again. From Dale Jr. to Justin Allgaier. All right. Well, we're going to get back to racing after all. And it'll be Allgaier versus Larson round 2. Larson the control car this go around. And again, he did take the inside lane. Allgaier up high on the outside. Pace car takes the left-hand turn onto pit road, so we're going to do this. We're actually going back green. 27 laps remain. And the green flag is back in the air. Sam Mayer pushing the 17 of Kyle Larson down on the bottom. Brandon Jones, the push car, up high to the back bumper of Justin Allgaier. Nose to nose on the entry into turn 1 between the 17 and the 7. Allgaier holding Larson very tight. Larson kind of with a bit of a block on Sam Mayer through the chute of turns 1 and 2. Off the exit of turn 2, Allgaier takes the lead as he gets out in front of Larson. Larson with a big block on Sam Mayer in the 41. And now Mayer will push the 17. Larson with a head of steam as they enter turn 3. Can he get back to the inside of the 7? He does for a brief moment. Allgaier Had to leave a little bit of space for Larson. Larson with another bit of a block on Mayer through the short chute, and as he's worried about him, Allgaier holds clear into turn 4. Redemption for Justin Allgaier. Lost the lead the restart before that, takes it right back. Larson still has not led a green flag lap yet today. But he's in second place and still very much in striking distance. Connor Zilic, after finishing second in the last stage, lost 3 positions during the pit stops amongst the stage 2 caution. He just passed Sam Mayer for 4th place on the front stretch that last time by. Brandon Jones, quiet day for him, but he sits in 3rd. Like he had to lift at an abrupt moment off of turn 2. Loses time to Larson. Zilic all over him. Larson trying to do what he can to keep pace with the 7 of Allgaier. 25 laps to go at the start-finish line this time around. Three-quarters of the way home. Top 5 following the restart has Justin Allgaier in the lead, Kyle Larson in 2nd, Brandon Jones 3rd, Connor Zilic 4th, and Sam Mayer in 5th. Most of the field single filed out now as we're a few laps into the restart. Allgaier down both straightaways, front and back, trying to break the draft and not give Kyle Larson enough momentum to get a run at him if Larson could get up off the exit of either turn 2 or turn 4 better than that of Allgaier. Brandon Jones putting a lot of pressure on the back of the 17 right now for 2nd. Will not pull out a line on the front stretch this time to try to make a pass, though. Staying on the back of the 17 might be able to give him a little bit of a push, and now Larson's got to run after Allgaier on the front stretch. If he can get that kind of a run down the back straightaway, I think Larson will go with it. The headwind down the front, especially with the rain kind of looming in if the winds are picking up at all. It's going to make that even harder to pull out a line on the front stretch. Bit of a wiggle getting through turn 1 that last time around, though, for Larson, so he's too far behind off turn 2 this time to try to get a run after Allgaier. So he's just focused on trying to close the gap as much as he can. I'm surprised that Allgaier did not try to break the draft to the inside that time. Really the first straightaway since the restart and taking the lead back from Larson that he has not tried to break the draft in any way. Off of turn 4 again. Steady wheel for both the 7 and the 17. And Larson's definitely put a little bit of gap over Brandon Jones in 3rd. Zilic still lingering on the back of the 20 car. Larson pulls out a line, but I think it's more of a bluff than anything. Maybe trying to flatline the corner just to get more clean air in the nose. Connor Zilic in turn 1 makes the pass for 3rd on Brandon Jones. Chevrolet now 1, 2, 3 at the front of the field. Arguably the 3 fastest cars. All in contention for the win. Zilic trying to go for 3 wins in a row. Larson trying to go for 3 in a row of the races he has ran in the Xfinity Series. And Allgaier trying to match Zilic for the most wins this season at 4. Sam Mayer, by the way, still has the fastest lap of the race of a 54.549 if you're wondering on the bonus point for the fastest lap award. Mayer is in 5th. Meanwhile, at the front, Larson again put a charge into turn 1. Just can't get close enough to the back of Allgaier before sailing it off into the corner. And I don't think he wants to blow a corner with this many laps left still. I know any lap could be the last for the rain, but until then, I think you just got to keep driving the way Larson's doing right now. Put pressure on him. Force him to make a mistake. If he doesn't make a mistake, then, pounce when you absolutely have to on, say, a final lap situation. But until we get there, Larson's doing everything he can to just keep the intensity up. Force the 7 to just maybe use his mirror a little more and forces him to make a mistake out of the windshield in the following corner. 21 laps to go here at Indy. Allgaier has been pretty persistent with not trying to break the draft as much down the straightaway these last couple of laps, and I think that's allowing for Larson to kind of stay closer to the 7. He hasn't really pulled out a line to try to make a pass yet. through turn 2. Tell Allgaier got back to the gas just a little bit before Larson. Obviously, whatever gap he opens up there, Larson's going to be able to close just a bit. It's really hard to tell who's faster between these two cars because obviously Larson hasn't really led today. Again, hasn't led a green flag lap. He only led under caution. And Justin Allgaier was obviously quick earlier in the race, won stage 2. But the draft is going to keep things close down these long straightaways. Larson was able to pin his car through turn 1 about a half a lane lower than that of Justin Allgaier. And he stays a bit lower through turn 2 most of the way through the corner there as well. It's kind of crazy. There's rain looming in Indy, and I've got thunder in the background where I'm living too. The thunderstorm's about to roll in. I'm just hoping the power stays on. Caution flag is out with 20 laps to go at Indianapolis.
And said, bring it on.
And I believe it's for rain.
Number 100 for JRM.
I saw Pullman there was making sure not to be celebrating. He knows how this goes.
I think this is short-lived. If you're watching, don't go anywhere. I think this is a really quick light shower. I think we're going to get back racing. As much as I like it, my buddy right there.
Now, it's hard to sell. All due respect to the boss, it's hard to sell rain when you've got your sunglasses on. You got to take the shades on, Dale.
No. He might not want us to see his emotion.
All depends if this is going to be a really heavy amount of rain. What did you say yesterday, Adam? Big time rain?
Big time rain. And if we get big time rain now, Allgaier's going to win this race.
I always heard it referenced to as a frog sprinkler.
I'm sorry. That's a lot of rain. That's a Missouri thing. Did you say that's that a Joplin, Missouri?
Might be foul.
I'd say that's Midwest University.
They would say at the baseball games on the rain course.
Yeah.
I want some confirmation for baseball stats. I'll find out. Bobby.
If it does rain and the race ends this way and you go back to that restart, how satisfying for Allgaier. You know, I mean, you said it. You're going against one of the best.
Yeah.
And you're able, you don't have control of the race.
And how fitting, I think, for Junior Motorsports to celebrate their 100th win with the guy that's won the majority of the races.
The cornerstone.
Yeah, absolutely has. The championship last year, I think it would just be awesome to see that.
Take a look back at this restart that got him the lead back for the 17, and I think it just starts right there in the restart zone. The 20's connected to him well. He's able to stay side by side with Kyle Larson. So we go to turn 1 here. He sort of gets down, side drafts a little bit, and then it's his entry into 2. He goes out, takes a traditional line, and has that momentum around the outside. The 17 of Kyle Larson just couldn't stay committed, losing the side force for the 7 out there. Makes the pass and has been able to hold on ever since.
It'd be so hard if you're the leader of this race to take the outside. If this race restarts, I would be shocked if Allgaier takes the outside. I just think it's such a risk. But he's been able to make it work, and the lead's been from the outside the last 2.
You have great leverage, but as you put it, there's a lot of risk in that, with ample reward as well.
Talk about getting number 100. Let's go back and look at victory number 1, 2008. Mark, Las Vegas. Driving the 5.
Ken Lowski. He was. Yeah.
But, you know, I just think about how owners, right, drivers get into the owner side of things, and it doesn't always materialize. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't always work out. And you look at what they built at Junior Motorsports, and not only the number of drivers that have won for them, 22 have been able to find their way to victory lane as they make their way toward 100, but the foundation has been laid for so many drivers to go on and have wonderful careers. I mean, I just think right here, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, William Byron wins 2017. he goes on to win the championship. And so they've just done so many cool things over the years, not just winning the races, but winning championships and setting drivers off to go to bigger and better things.
I said the same thing, Adam. They've given a lot of guys opportunities at this level to go on and do even more. Which I asked Dale at dinner last night, because he was with a team earlier with Truex, right?
Right,
Chance
Chance
too. And I'm like, so is that a part of this? And he's like, no, this is all like started 2008. See right there, everything that he's been able to do as an owner.
And a family affair. Kelly is just
Absolutely.
obviously instrumental in building this organization. So many family members throughout different parts of the organization over the years. It's really cool what they've been able to build at Junior Motorsports. That rain does look
Rain
heavy
looks
on
bad, but the
windshield.
sun is coming out. I
The
think
sun
it's
is
over.
back. I don't see any rain outside the box.
We're going back racing, no doubt.
The word we are getting, NASCAR feels good, like Jamie, about continuing this race. But we're not going to have a lot of time left. 18 to go right now. All guys are leading. Fifth caution of the afternoon in Indy.
It is legitimately raining, and you can tell the winds have picked up immensely as well around the racetrack. It's insane to me, even if they get this race in, if, say, the rain splits around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we have basically the parting of the seas happening around the racetrack with the rainfall, that there's no lightning in the area, too. With as vicious as the thunderstorms look based off the radar side of things. It's obviously still crunch time. This race may not be over yet. Larson and Allgaier have traded the lead back and forth on consecutive restarts to this point. In the event of another restart, we will have around 15 or so laps to go, assuming it's within the next couple laps. Still quite a bit of time left in this race. Weather needs to stop tricking us, yes. Yeah, and it was legitimately raining, too. It's not a phantom rain caution by any means. You can see the drops on the windshield under caution for some of the in-car cams that they were showing of our front runners.
Reaching your financial goals can feel.
Oh, thought that were coming back on the air. I jumped the gun on unmuting it. Our like goal was 50 for this stream, and we are currently at 64. Sure to hit the like button if you guys have not done so yet. Run that counter up as much as we can. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Lights are still out on the pace car for the time being. We'll take a quick break while this caution is extended. Pennzoil 250 coverage continues here on KRC.
That from Mel Jr.
That was a little confusing. Did he say
You're going to be done raining.
no, it's done raining? Yeah. Okay. I was like, well,
When he first said it, I was like, what?
I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second.
But I would say this. I mean, he fired him up when he did the restart, and now he's preparing him for what could come next. Now the restart is the guy in control. It's Kim.
Yeah, and I want to note that Junior's on top of the 88 box, not the 7, but that was the 7 radio. I'm here with crew chief Jim Pullman. Dale Jr. calling the shots on your team from the 88 box. Right, both teams. What do you want to see your driver do here on the choose? He's got the lead, but he's got Larson breathing down his neck.
Trust his gut. We he won from the top. Larson won from the top. Might get to 20 behind us. 20 is a really good pusher, so we'll see what he chooses. I think execution's a big thing. The side draft's pretty important right now, so it's going to be a race into turn 1. We'll see how it goes.
What would it mean for you to get the 100th win for this organization?
A lot, for sure. Yeah, to have Dale here and all the helmets on the spicy Chevrolet here has been really cool all weekend. So great car. Pit crew's been excellent. Yeah, if we could just execute, it'd be huge for all of us.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see if Joseph keeps it spicy on this restart.
It's going to be spicy.
It's going to be spicy.
I'm not sure
Positive.
it'll be
Spicy
Justin that's
mayonnaise?
the one producing the
Spicy
spice, but
Hellmann's?
It's going to get spicy here.
So
Back to the choose with 15 to go. So restart 14 to go.
And the last 3 restarts, the car on the outside did take the lead. So
I know.
we've got some stats to back up
the
the
bottom
choice.
though, and that would also be who's lined up behind me. I'd like the bottom because Connor lines up behind me. I think that would be good for Justin. 2 JRM cars lined up. I think you have to take the bottom.
But you know what? If you do that, let's just say Allgaier goes to the bottom and Zilich goes with him. Larson goes to the outside with Brandon Jones, a veteran driver, behind him. And it was Jones that really did a pretty good job on that last restart of giving a shove to Allgaier and getting him to the race lead. So yeah, you make a great point.
I always make a great point.
Right, but I'm telling you, in this situation, you need some help, or you want good help behind
Got
you.
it.
And listen, when you look at that last restart, Larson had to defend Sam Mayer behind him. Allgaier will not have to do that if it's Zilich behind him. I think you can trust him for at least a lap or two until they get kind of spread out.
The only thing I'll say about being on the outside is if someone is able to go to the inside and make it 3 wide at the outside car, you can be in a really vulnerable position at that point, which makes this so difficult. It seems like they're almost even. I'd say the bottom, in my mind, makes more sense, but for whatever reason, the outside just has incredible leverage to get the jump.
I get really nervous in these situations.
Let me say it differently. If I choose the outside and I lose it, I'm gonna beat myself to death, right?
Yep.
If I choose the bottom and I lose it, I still feel like I made the right decision. Is that fair to say? I mean, I would be more
Nice for
upset.
you.
I would be more upset losing it, being on the inside, than I would taking the outside, giving up the.
We got our choice.
Goes outside.
Wow, look who Larson is
Wow.
behind it.
So you got Brendan Jones, who helped him last time.
Remember last year in the Brickyard 400 when they're coming back to the restart and Brad Keselowski's leading, right? Runs out of fuel, pulls down.
Right,
Larson
yep.
pulls up inside lane, grabs the race lead from Ryan Blaney, the control car, and goes on to win the Brickyard 400.
I feel like I gotta take this off. I know that's gonna not be deep, but I gotta. I mean, every race, everything I dominated. What do you guys think? You gotta trust you guys, buddy.
I like the spotter agreeing with him and not second guessing him.
How about the 17 camp, Dylan?
Yeah, let's get a quick word with Adam Wall. All right, you guys are here to win. That's what you told me today. So what's on the table? What's fair game here on this restart?
Yeah, I'd say it's all fair game. Justin gave us the bottom, so I like the 88 pushing us. Glad we get another shot at it here. I'm sure he's hungry.
They have a shot at it for sure. That's all they can ask for. By the way, Adam is a native of Effingham, Illinois, which is about 2 hours from here. This was the first place he ever came and saw stock cars with his own eyes. So this place means a lot to him, and it would be cool for him to get a win here as much as his driver.
Great story. So many Midwest connections up there.
Yeah, racing's huge in the Midwest. So yeah, doubled up. We'll be going green this time. Bye.
Yeah, the 16 to go. Look at this. I think crazy. That was such a hard hit. Anthony Alfredo was in the 5. On for Retzlaff 31. Josh Williams in the 11. And I would say, too, I mean, 15 to go, 14 to go for the restart here. It's going to get wild and
Spicy, I think, is the term.
Get more cautions here for sure. I mean, it's just a product of this.
Now the real term is in the nature of the Savannah Bananas. It's going to be bananas on this restart. And we've got Kyle Larson, Justin Allgaier, round number 3. Who's going to take this title fight as they come to the yard of bricks? Green flag is back in the air. 14 laps to go at Indianapolis. Good launch for Allgaier on the outside. Same can be said for Larson down low on the bottom. Both getting their pushes needed to try to get forward momentum going. Almirola 3 wide, cramming his car up on the inside of Sam Mayer, and Sheldon Creed backs out of it late. Out of turn 1, Larson looks like he's got a bit of an advantage. Into turn 2, though, Allgaier charges right back hard on the outside. They make contact. Oh, Allgaier crams the wall. Off of turn 2, Connor Zilich gets to the lead. There was contact with the 17 of Larson into the 7 of Allgaier. Both of them are dropping to the back of the lead pack. And it's Zilich and Gray who are now first and second. Sam Mayer's up to third, Austin Hill fourth, and Eric Almirola rounds out the top 5. Another car up against the wall. I think it was Brandon Jones getting into turn 3 a little bit further back in the pack. We stay green for the time being. Leaders race their way back to the start-finish line. It's the first time Zilich has led since the end of Stage 2 when he got passed on the final lap of the stage by Allgaier. So Zilich trying to be the one to get Junior Motorsports their 100th win. And it was Jones who got against the wall in turn 3 because his right front is flat. Both Jones and Allgaier get back into the pits. Again, we stay green here at Indianapolis. I don't know where Kyle Larson fell to. He did not come to pit road with the other two that time by. Larson's in 10th. Washed up the racetrack. Looked like Larson just got tight. Made contact with the 7. I mean, as tight as he got right there, I don't think Larson was going to make the corner. And with the 7 to his outside, Allgaier was just an innocent bystander. Man. And I don't know where Brandon Jones... Okay, so he had contact with Zilich as they were trying to fight to get underneath of the sliding 7 and 17. And in the midst of that happening, Jones's car kind of whiplashed back into the 7 of Allgaier, and that's where the right front damage came in, likely blowing out the right front tire into turn 3 that next corner. So that was now a couple laps ago. Battle for the lead is between Connor Zilich and Taylor Gray. We have not seen Gray up in the top 5 all day long, but here he is in second with a shot to win. He's got the rookie in front of him. He's a rookie himself looking for his first career win and to lock himself into the Xfinity Series playoff field. Justin Allgaier has just climbed out of his race car in the pits, so his day has come to an end. Big run for Gray on the front stretch. Not going to pull out a line to try to make a pass on Zilich to this point. This race is not over yet. Zilich has not just outright won this thing. Gray's hungry. Came close to win at Martinsville earlier in the season when he got wrecked out of that win by Sammy Smith, a Junior Motorsports Chevrolet. And he hasn't really had another great opportunity like that to get back into victory lane since. Mayer in 3rd place, losing a little bit of time to these top 2. Gray's doing a great job still trying to keep that pressure after Connor Zilich. Zilich was inside of row 2 on the restart, I do believe, so he went from 3rd to 1st. Brandon Jones is returned to the racetrack. He's just exiting turn 2 for whatever fixes that they were able to make to the 20 following contact on the restart. 9.5 laps to go. Almirola pulling out a line, trying to make a pass on Austin Hill into turn 3 for 4. Not quite going to be able to get to him. Almirola now gets to the back of the 21. The 21's hard into the wall goes Almirola. I think Hill just right rear hooked Eric Almirola. And Almirola just slammed the wall head on into turn 4. That was after a bump that the 19 gave the 21 coming out of turn 3. Caution flag is out with 9 to go.
Wow. Badly mistimed that. 4th and 5th on track.
Oh my gosh.
Hill and Eric Almirola.
That was a huge hit, but initially I thought it was going to be significantly worse angle.
Austin
That
Hill
was bad.
radio.
I couldn't hang on to it. I was not trying to right rear you. Like, turn back to the left, just off the wall. I'm not sure what the hell he said.
That I kind of tend to agree when we look at it again. It looks like he had it saved, but the car still had a huge slide going. He was trying to basically get back in position and gathered the car up and got into the right rear.
I need to see replays.
Almirola.
That was a hard hit.
Eric out of the car.
I mean, it's also a way you pass in these cars. You pack air on that left rear. You try to get someone up the racetrack. It's hard to pass here. We know that. I don't know that Eric did anything wrong there. I think that if the roles were reversed, Austin would have done the same thing. So a little bit of frustration, I understand, because they're wrecked. And let's take a look at it right here. You see the 19 kind of peeks out right here, getting into 3. He was just not close enough, but he gets to the rear. He's lower, packs that air, which we see all the time in these Xfinity Series cars. There's the slide.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think we'll all see that a little bit differently. I think NASCAR will probably. Yeah, I think that'll be looked at for sure again, because it looks to me like he gets straight there for a second. Yeah. I don't know. I'd get a little frustrated if I was Eric in that situation.
That's just potentially not just gathered in it.
Man, that was a big hit by Eric. Then off that middle line.
Basically ran over the splitter of his car in the midst of the impact. That's how far in the nose of his car got bashed in after contact with the wall.
Every time Eric comes and joins the Xfinity Series, he has something to say about the result. You think about the rally he had here a season ago, came up short, second last week at Dover, won earlier this season at Phoenix, but unfortunately not going to have what it takes to finish the deal today with a crash inside of 10 laps to go. Here's Almirola's radio.
That was a really retaliate.
Yeah, as Parker and I watched it, we both initially looked at each other before we said anything and felt the exact same way. Only Austin Hill knows what happened. But as we watched that, it seemed like he did have control of his car. I don't know if he meant to have that exact result, but I think most anybody watching this is going to agree that did not look, that looked dirty.
I think NASCAR will probably take a look at it.
We'll take a break. Under caution, the 6-time at Indianapolis, Connor Zillage is in the race lead.
Kyle Busch driving the 21 car next week? Under a red flag condition following the hit, I think they have to make some repairs to the safer barrier on the outside of the racetrack at turn 4. The red is not for rain, but it leads for more time for rain to come if it did not completely split around the racetrack. Still got about 2 hours of daylight at the moment we're at right now. I mean, I called it live as intentional. I probably jumped the gun a little early on that, and I should have waited for the replay. But in the initial timing of it happening, I called it as if he turned him intentionally because it looked intentional. I should have waited for the replay beforehand, even though the replay did solidify my original opinion anyway. So I do want to apologize for that side of it, even though I was technically right. I shouldn't have done that on the commentary side of things, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he wrecked him intentionally, though. And it sounds like Jamie McMurray and Parker Kligerman are kind of in agreement with that as well in the CW booth. Yeah, maybe Kyle Busch drives the 21 next week. I don't know who else would drive the 21. Austin Dillon, maybe? Xfinity Series, do they race at Iowa? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they race at Iowa next week. Yeah, let's get Kyle Busch in the Xfinity car at Iowa next week. I think we've got a suspension coming up for Austin Hill. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get suspended for that. I mean, at this track too, at that angle getting into turn 4, that was an awful hit for Eric Almirola. I was talking earlier about Denny Hamlin having a hard hit in qualifying, which it was. This was a way more violent hit than that. Well, I wouldn't say way more, but it was still a more violent hit. I mean, you're going into the corner. The dissipating energy is going to be a lot greater than that of hitting the wall head on a straightaway. Yeah, no lights at Indy, but they have until 9:03 Eastern tonight. Would be sundown. Not sure we need announcers encouraging or discouraging NASCAR. I don't think they were. I think they were just trying to give the what they thought was going to happen. It actually does look like it's raining at the track, and that's the reason for the
flag in the air and stop cars on the back straightaway. Connor Zillage.
So it looks like red flag is unless that was just a bunch of bugs. It looked like rain flying around the flag stand, but actually I think it might have been like bunch of bugs or
I'd
something.
just like to know your perspective of that restart with Kyle Larson and your teammate Algar. What did you see from your perspective?
Make sure that was running it tight down on the bottom and just got, took a little side force away from that door and Larson got a little loose. So, same thing, a little bit of a rate. From broken home, running third, and did a very smart thing and I kind of 1 minute break.
Well, speaking of winning, I think about the role that the 88 team has been on for the last 7 or 8 weeks, the wins that you have. But I also think back to your first big win, the Rolex 24, being able to win at Daytona Special. Where's Indy rank for you in that lineup?
There's not quite, I did in the 4 yet, but there's been
And what about get JRM, Dale Jr., Kelly, everybody at the shop, being able to get that 100th win? Like, how special is that for you?
First, they don't want to get. I don't think he comes to track 6 weeks now. It would be an honor to get that 100 win. It's part of it. It's really, really special. Not a lot of teams.
Yeah, well, no doubt. I got to tell you, Connor, I've known you since racing karts at the track there in Mooresville, pitted next to you and your dad, and to be able to see your transition and watching you today lead into race at Indy, it has been a lot of fun to watch, both on and off the track. It's just been awesome to watch, buddy.
Thank you, Jim.
You're putting a lot of pressure on the guy when the race is not over yet. I mean,
Some of that I have watched Connor kind of grow up racing, and I watched him in karts, and it's, I mean, and Parker, you're getting old enough that you're watching young guys come along. It's fascinating to see these guys develop into who they are, and this guy's been special this year.
There's Kim.
Yeah, catching up with Dale Earnhardt Jr. here at the 88 box with the 88 leading. You guys are on the cusp of your 100th team win. If you get it done here today, what would that mean to you and Kelly and the whole shop?
Oh, well, it's a long road to get here. We never expected to have so much success. We had a lot of great employees that are there now and that have come through our building to build great race cars, and we've been able to put some really great race car drivers in them. I think the list is like 22 at this point, so a lot of cool names on that list. And yeah, I mean, if we happen to not get it today, we'll keep on digging and keep on trying. What's the next milestone after 100, right? We'll keep on digging, keep on trying to win races. We got many more in our future.
I gotta ask, Algar really wanted to be the one to get the 100th. Obviously, you're battling some of the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. We saw Justin get out of the car. You gave him a hug. What words did you share with him in that disappointment?
I'm so proud of the restart. I told him on that, coming to that restart, and he lost the lead, and I said, hey, temperatures dropped, tons of grip, fired off in there on the outside. You're gonna have more grip than you've had all day. And he battled and got the lead back. So I was just really proud of him. And I told Mr. Hendrick just now, he's texting me about that Rick Alba too, and I said, we've done this a long time. You put good race car drivers in good cars, they're going to run together and sometimes wreck together. Larson's a guy that's going to lay it out on the line. I know it wasn't intentional, and it hurts, but we're racing for the lead, and he's racing for the win too, and it is what it is. We've seen that. I've been in this game a long, long time, seen a lot of crazy things happen, but I hate it for Justin because he wants to do it. He's been our it's kind of our the cornerstone of our company for so many years, just very dependable, reliant, and so great to our partners all over the years. And he wants to do these things for us. But if it don't happen today, maybe next week. I won't get to go to the race next week. I got another commitment, but I'll be at the Glen. If we have to win it there, we'll win it there.
And finally, we've heard you chime in on the radio here and there for your teams. If we go back green, what are you going to tell Connor in these closing laps?
I don't think I need to tell him anymore. Sometimes I'll see something. I think the one thing I would like to remind him is that, leading the race, when you arc the corner, you open the left headlight for the guy behind you, and that's probably what's keeping the 54 close in the draft. If he could shallow up the entry and shut off the air to that left right headlight on the 54 a little bit. I'd like that, but that keep him a little further back, at least for my comfort.
Best of luck.
I love his thought process and coaching him up from a driver perspective. And I thought he was so good at that when he was on the box at Pocono and Carson won. And I loved how Carson received all of that knowledge. And Dale even said, I don't want to overload you. I'm just trying to help you. And he said, keep it coming. It was really cool to watch those two have those exchanges, maybe more to come here today. Let's go down to Carla.
Yeah, here with Eric Almirola, who just exited the medical center. Obviously, a lot happening between you and the 21 there. What exactly happened?
I had a fast race car. Our Young Life Toyota GR Supra was so fast today. We missed the balance a little bit to start the race, and we worked on it. Had an unfortunate mishap on pit road and lost a lot of spots and came out 13th, but we were making a lot of progress going back forward and thought we still had a shot to win. So that's what I'm most proud of. I want to focus on the positive. We had such a great night last night with a bunch of Young Life folks. Talked a lot. I know JD Gibbs told a lot of stories about him, and really felt like we were going to have an opportunity to kiss the bricks today and pay all the glory to Jesus Christ and honor JD Gibbs, and just didn't end up that way.
Do you think it was intentional, and will you go talk to Austin after this?
Oh, it was definitely intentional. He blocked me 3 times. I finally got him loose in 3. He had damage on the nose, so he's really slow in the corners. And so it was time to go. I mean, we're coming to 10 laps to go or 9 laps to go, and the leaders are starting to put a gap on us, so it's time to go. And I got him loose, and yeah, he just turned left and hooked me in the right rears. Honestly, one of the biggest hits in my entire NASCAR career. Very reminiscent of the hit I took when I broke my back. So glad I'm okay. Thankful to everybody back at the shop at Joe Gibbs Racing for building amazing race cars and making them safe. Disappointed. Felt like we had a shot to win. I have so much fun every time I run these races. We have great race cars, and I love doing it. It's just unfortunate that guys like that, especially that guy, he stood up in front of a meeting at Martinsville and said he was going to be a role model for all the young kids to look up to and racing etiquette. And I think that's kind of laughable after that one.
Thank you, and glad you're okay. Adam?
Yeah, thanks, Carla. We just received word that NASCAR has said to the 21, we're going to hold you 5 laps for reckless driving. For the 2 of you, the reaction to what Almirola said.
Yeah.
I don't think that's harsh enough. I would say. I mean, if
I would park him for the rest of the race.
We've set, an example of what what those penalties should be. His car is already torn up. They can park him the rest of the day. It's not really going to change the outcome of the race. And as Parker and I have sat here and watched the replay over and over again, you don't want to jump to a conclusion. But unfortunately for Austin, the more times you watch it, it just looks worse each time it looks. And also, Parker, as we listen to Eric kind of give the interview and talk about, well, yeah, he blocked me a few times before, there's always a little bit more to the story, but it just, that's not good for Austin Hill. It clearly looks like he hung a left and right reared him, and that's just not acceptable.
It's not acceptable, especially at these speeds and this high speed of a racetrack. We've seen drivers be suspended for that before, and it's just definitely something you don't want to see. It's sort of one of the written and unwritten rules,
Absolutely.
especially among drivers, of just that you don't go that far. Let's take a listen to 21's radio.
All right, just hold it. Reckless drive. Or, please, I go to direct it back to the left, it gets lost to the left to run into the 19.
Well, I don't think that's going to help at all. His situation that he's in, and he clearly, I mean, he's the only one that knows what happened in that situation. But I would tell you that, I think, and we'll find out from social media tonight what all the other drivers think as well. As you watch this, you do see Austin lose control right here. They're going to go into the corner.
It's right here. He gets sideways, right? This is where the port that when we saw real time, I think we felt like there was maybe this, but there's that where the car is so straight, it's obviously under control, and then it's a hard left where you can obviously see the 19 in his purview. He can see where the 19 is. That just looks, the optics look bad.
As a judge, that's a hard sell, and I just don't think many people are going to see Austin's side of that story.
Just got word they're cranking the engine.
Good.
Really good news. Now we go back down to Carla.
Yeah, here with Justin Allgaier. Obviously, you and Larson racing for the win there with 15 to go. What did you see? It looked like Larson got loose there.
Yeah, I don't know. we'll go back and look at it and figure it out. I hate it for our team, everybody at Junior Motorsports. I'm really hopeful that regardless of outcome for our 7 team, I really hope that at least one of the Junior Motorsports Chevrolet is able to go to victory lane and get that one for Dale Jr. It's a big feat, and really proud of everybody on our 7 team and this helmet spicy Manning Chevrolet. I mean, just to have the speed that we had all day. I had such good balance on our race car, and we were able to get out there. We didn't quite have the straight line speed, but we knew that going in, and the team did an amazing job on pit road. Spotters did an incredible job and just trying to manage the day. And unfortunately, Indianapolis is one of those places that it doesn't take much to have an incident like that. And unfortunately, I'd rather be sitting on the racetrack right now, waiting for this rain to clear than to be sitting in the medical center. But again, proud of our team. Whether it's us or not, it doesn't matter. Getting that 100 win flag would be extremely special. And I know that we've had a team that can do that, and disappointed that we're not able to be the one to do it today.
Yeah, we heard from Dale Jr. earlier too, talking about your cornerstone type of guy for this. He was disappointed, but said he was very proud of you for being able to get the race lead back. What does that mean for him to say that?
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed in myself for losing it, and then to be able to get it back and to manage the race like we were able to there. It was a lot of fun, and Dale's this whole team of Junior Motorsports is kind of an extension of who Dale Jr. is and what he means to the sport and to the sport of NASCAR, but really to the sport of auto racing. And I'm so thankful to have had the opportunity to be here for as long as I have. And the 25 wins, I guess, that I've had at Junior Motorsports, right, to be almost a quarter or right at a quarter of the wins that this company has been a part of. Those are huge moments to me, and I think that's why today is so special. If we can hold if Connor can hold it off, or one of my other teammates can get up there and win it, I think that's why it's so special, is to see just the progression of our team and our company, the amount of wins we've had this season. I mean, just as a whole, it's really special. And the Hendrick Engine Shop, everybody Chevrolet, there's so many people that work in the shop that make this happen. It's really been a lot of fun, and like I said, I'll be celebrating victory lane if we're able to get win number 100 today.
The reality of that is, we know Larson did do it on purpose, but it doesn't matter, right? I mean, it ended his day, and it's frustrating. You don't really care who it was or whether it was intentional or not, right? It's just your day's over again.
Larson is back up into the 6th place position. Things get wild again. I'm not going to count him out of it necessarily. We do have 7 laps to go as the red flag has been lifted after a repair to the outside wall in turn 4. No, yeah, I put it in the chat, but that interview with Justin Allgaier, I don't know why the camera was so zoomed in on his face. Like, they were so zoomed in that you couldn't even see, like, the bottom of his jawline. Like, it was just, like, all face. I swear I could see some nose hairs. Like, it was uncomfortable how close they were. It'd be like if I just, like, streamed like this in front of the camera all day and you could just see everything on my face. It's uncomfortable. Shouldn't be this close. It wasn't a dirty move by Eric Almirola by any means. I mean, it's a little aggressive, at this fast of a track to get the bumper to somebody, but he ultimately didn't wreck it. I mean, he got him loose, got him up out of the way, and then he just got right rear hook. He didn't put him in the wall. He didn't. Yeah, I don't know. That was an overreaction for sure. All right. Well, they haven't given them. Let's see if they get them the one to go signal this time. I think they had to open pit road up, so they are not going to give them one to go this time for that reason. Creed has damage. Yeah, I think he had a little bit of damage getting through the initial restart when Allgaier and Larson had contact with one another, because Zilich actually made a little bit of contact as well with Brandon Jones trying to get through that. I don't know if that's really hurt the 88 car at all, but definitely doesn't help him. We got another Savannah Bananas sponsorship sighting. I told you on the last restart it was going to get bananas, and it did.
Draft and knowing what's
Here
on
we
the
go.
line and what we've seen in the last 25 laps. Creed's got that damage on the front, but it's not going to hurt on the initial push, but it could hurt if you come off side by side down the backstretch. Thinking Mayer's going to take the inside. Again, that makes me, if I'm Zillage, want the inside, especially if I've watched what happened to his teammate. I like my odds on the bottom.
Hey, you look at our bumper, we talked about the top 6 in reference Larson in the 17. Sammy Smith there in 7th, the winner earlier this year at Rockingham. Ryan Sieg has not won in his career. He's 8th, but maybe as important as trying to get up there and win the race for Sieg is finish the deal, because we're having another good points today. Daniel Dye, top 10 here last year, is in the top 10. Dean Thompson, another rookie that just continues to do great things for hunt racing.
Yeah, great run for Dean Thompson.
And then just outside the top 10, there they are, 13th and 15th. Harrison and Jeff Burton separated by 2 positions on track and 5 points at the bubble, as will be 5 races to go next weekend at Iowa.
For Ryan Sieg and Dean Thompson, all the craziness through today, a good finish gets them a little bit closer to that cut line. That could compress as they gain some points of Jeff Burton and Harrison Burton. That's still a race to go.
Probably have 4 laps to go in the restart.
I think Sheldon Creed is going to have a little trouble here. We're missing a right front fender.
Shocked that he's in that position, still, after the few laps we've run.
That's going to be tough. He could be a good pusher still. I don't think that car would favor well in clean airs. Yep. Connor, listen to you.
Well, I think it's it's the safer choice right here for him, especially with Sam being behind him. And I don't know that on the initial push with Creed behind the 54 that it's going to hurt him,
and that the 00 be behind, if Sheldon Creed behind Gray the outside, we'll have to see if that damage has any effect his ability to push. I think he should be able to, just located, but.
And Mayer's been a great pusher. We watched him push Larson. He's been in that position a lot today of doing that. And the more practice you get at it,
this year,
the better you get. His best chance of winning this race is to push Connor Zilic to the lead, following through, and then try to pass him. It's not pull out immediately and get side by side, because that gives the advantage to Taylor Gray.
As we've gone later in the day, you heard Dale talk about the cooler temperatures, sun is setting. That leads to precedence that the 41 who potentially maybe had a lower drag, lower downforce setup in that car could utilize all that speed. Let's take a listen to the radio. 88.
41, right? 41 behind. 41. Don't worry about where that outside line is.
Well, this race could definitely be lost in turn 1, turn 2, but it can't be won there, because we will have 4 full laps. That's 10 miles of racing yet at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that's if we stay green long enough to see the white flag solidify that we would end this race under our regulation length of 100 laps, 250 miles. So Connor Zilic trying to go for his 5th win of the season, 3rd in a row, and 3rd straight on an oval, while Taylor Gray is still in his rookie season, searching for his first career win, not only in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but a NASCAR Premier Series race. He's never won a truck race in the 2 seasons he spent down there before jumping to JGR full-time in the Xfinity Series this year. And in row number 2, you got Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed trying to get the first win for Ford in 2025 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Late in the restart zone goes Connor Zilic, green flag back in the air. Heck of a push that Creed is giving the 54. The 41 of Mayer couldn't get on the 88 of Connor Zilic, and Gray has the lead into turn 1. So Taylor Gray out in front. Zilic is clear for 2nd. Side by side for 3rd for Mayer and Creed. Mayer should win that battle, and he does. Kyle Larson is going to get through to 4th, going from 6th to 4th place, and Creed with that damage is going backwards in a hurry, bottlenecking some other cars up on the outside. Gray trying to break the draft down the back straightaway on the 88 who tails him. Wider entry on the turn 3 side of things for Taylor Gray. Opens it up through turn 4 as well. Connor Zilich with the power down. Off of turn 4 is all over the back of the 54 car. Gray has to hold on for 3 more laps to get his first career Xfinity Series win. Zilich with a block low on Sam Mayer. That's going to help Taylor Gray out if Zilich overdrives the corner, but it didn't really look like he did. If anything, Zilich might have actually gained time with that shallow entry into turn 1. Turn 2, Zilich gets up off the exit of the corner. Great! Gray got a bit loose. Made the save, but now they're drag racing down the backstretch for turn 3 for our race lead. Sam Mayer right behind both cars is going to push the 54, and Gray holds on to the lead. It was a split-second decision for Mayer to either go 3 wide for the lead or push one car. He pushed Gray. Gray still out in front after it looked like Zilich may have had him beat. 2 more laps to go now for Taylor Gray as they cross the yard of bricks again. Zilich trying to stay in the draft. Huge accordion line on the front stretch. Gray protects the bottom. Back up high. Widens his arc out into turn 1. Connor Zilich beat him through turns 1 and 2 the last time. He beats him through turn 1 this time. Will he make the move into 2 or will he have to wait for the exit of the corner? Gray is all over the place. He cannot keep his car steady. For the second lap in a row, he wiggles off of turn 2. Zilich to the inside. And again, they'll drag race down the backstretch. This time, Mayer goes with the 88 instead of the 54. Zilich to the lead, and Mayer's trying to go for second. Larson behind both cars also trying to fight his way up towards the front still. Mayer is clear of Gray for second place, while Zilich, through turns 3 and 4, holds on and has about a 3-car length gap over the 41 car in P2. Gray stayed in third over Kyle Larson. Final lap of the race, 1 lap to go for Zilich to go for 3 in a row. And win number 100 for Junior Motorsports if he can hold on. Mayer started on the pole. He led every lap of stage 1, hasn't led since, but he's back up into second with 1 final shot. He's about 4 car lengths off the lead as they exit turn 2 and head for the back straightaway 1 final time. Mayer's going to be a little bit too far back to catch Zilich without a major mistake now. Zilich gaps him just a bit more into turn 3. And as Zilich rounds through turn 4, the checkered flag will be waving. 3 wins in a row for the 88 for Junior Motorsports. And it'll be win number 100 for the program at the NASCAR Xfinity Series level. 5th win of the season for Connor Zilich. Hot streak continues on a hot day in Indianapolis. Man. Kind of a heartbreaker there for Gray. He couldn't hang on, but he didn't have the superior car for most of the day. Zilich ran top 3 the whole race, and with the other 2 guys that were in the top 3 kind of taking each other out a couple restarts ago, it was Zilich's race to lose, which he almost lost on the restart, but luckily got it back a couple laps later. And Connor Zilich wins again. 5 wins. 4 of them coming in the last 6 races, 3 in a row. Zilich is on a roll. Fastest in practice yesterday. Qualified well, like I said, was basically top 3 the entire race. And outlast the veterans of the sport, both on the Cup and Xfinity Series ranks. They've caught up with Dale Jr. On pit road.
Yeah, I was got a lot of people to thank, but he did a good job, man. Just an awesome drive at the end. We got some help from Sam and the back. Man, these races are tough on your heart. Up and down, up and down. 100 wins for our team. That's a big deal. I know my sister and everybody's very emotional. We're gonna enjoy this one.
I was going to ask, what were you thinking in the closing laps when he lost the lead?
Oh, man. He's the driver, you know. He just went up there and got it back, and we got great race cars. A good race car underneath him to do what he needed to do, and so it takes a lot of us. And I want to thank the engine shop, Hendrick Motorsports Engine Shop. That's what wins races at places like this and at Dover. So thank y'all for all the hard work. They worked hard this year. and all the support we get from HMS, and it's important to our performance.
Not only 100 wins, go kiss those bricks.
How about the
Yeah, this is definitely the summer of Connor Zilic in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 18 years old, and he's winning everywhere. He went from not being able to win on an oval and only road courses to now he's won 3 straight ovals. Pocono, Indianapolis, and Dover in that stretch. The 3 wins in a row would be Sonoma, Dover, and today at Indianapolis. Unbelievable. And here's your winner, Connor Zilic on the front stretch at Indianapolis.
something special? First trip to the Brickyard, and he gets to kiss the bricks. A belated 19th birthday celebration for Connor Zilic.
Oh, there we go. So he's 19 now. I didn't realize his birthday was this week. Still a teenager.
Jeez. What can you say about this kid that hasn't already been said? Hey, man, you just won at Indy. How does that feel?
Dude, this is awesome. Those bricks look really kissable, and you kiss them. So, man, this is awesome. 100 wins for JRM. Congrats to Dale, Kelly, LW, everybody who's raced for JRM, everybody who works at JRM. I'm the smallest part of this team, and man, I'm so glad to be a part of it. It's been such an awesome journey with JRM, and it's so cool to get them 100. So, winning at Indy is awesome, and getting 100 wins for JRM is really cool too. So, I consider this a pretty awesome day.
Dale talked a lot just now to Kim about what you mean to this team and just your accolades. What does it mean to you to be the one that gives them the 100th win, and what do they mean to you in your career?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I don't even have words to explain how much it means, and I know it probably means more to Dale and Kelly and the people who have been around for over 10 years and have built this team into what it is. But it truly is a powerhouse, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. So Dale's over there waving the flag, and I'm ready to get celebrating with him and congratulate him.
I want to ask you about racing. What did you do differently, or did you do anything differently that second time that made it stick?
Yeah, the second time I just got to push from behind, and it helped me clear them. So yeah, it was actually really racy, and you're able to pack air and make moves. So it was really cool. So yeah, winning at Indy has been a dream of mine. I've always been on the podium when I've come here. I've been here twice before, but kissing them bricks is gonna be special.
All right, he went for the hat trick, 3 Xfinity Series wins in a row, and Connor Zilic wins Junior Motorsports' 100th Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis.
I hope that we can all appreciate how Dale Jr. is a legend in our sport, and we're all friends with him, and his demeanor is always very calm. Like he laughs a lot, but he's a quiet guy, and to see him waving that flag and the smile and the excitement, I am so happy for him, his family, and everyone at Junior Motors.
Yeah, trust me, this is 5 wins on the season. He won at COTA earlier this year, and then the 3 races in a row, Sonoma, Dover, Indy, and he also won at Pocono last month as well. So 5 wins for Connor Zilic this year, 6 in his Xfinity career because he did win in his debut at Watkins Glen last season. And guess what? We're racing at Watkins Glen in 2 weeks, where he's probably going to have another shot to win another race. Unbelievable. And, at this point, he can win anywhere because he's winning on ovals all of a sudden. He hasn't won on, say, like a 1.5-mile track yet. So when we get to Kansas in the playoffs and Las Vegas, I'm curious to see the second trip back to those tracks, how much better he performs than he did earlier in the year. But he's turning around. Now it's just SVG's turn on the Cup Series. But my goodness. Yeah, he's the real deal. Rumor Connor's going to F1. I didn't hear of that until you just mentioned it in the chat. So I don't think that that's going to happen. We'll go through the finishing results of today's race and other race statistics. 2 hours, 22 minutes, 58 seconds total time on this one. That does not count the red flag period that we had for wall repair in turn 4 following the last crash of the race today. 6 cautions, 10 lead changes, 29 laps spent under yellow in this 100-lap race. We did finish under that regulation length of 250 miles of 100 laps. Connor Zilisch gets the race win, margin of victory 0.3 of a second over Sam Mayer. Zilisch went on to lead 19 laps today. He got past and lost by nose at the end of stage 2, but he redeemed himself by getting the race win overall. The more important thing, Sam Mayer from the pole, won stage 1. I believe he led the second most laps today, 32 laps led for him. Finishes second, solid points day for Mayer. Taylor Gray ends up third, Kyle Larson in fourth, and Ryan Sieg, back-to-back top 5s for Sieg. Snuck in there with a good run this week and was top 5 most of last week at Dover. He's picking up the slack. He might be able to point his way into the playoffs. William Sawalich, 6th in today's race. Another good run for him. He's been getting better over the last few weeks, that's for sure. Sammy Smith, 7th place finish for him. Daniel Dye, 8th. Jesse Love, 9th. Dean Thompson scores the top 10. It's bananas. B-A-N-A. Matt DiBenedetto in the Savannah Bananas car finishes in 11th place today. Just missed out on the top 10. All that ad sponsorship he had throughout the course of the race, though, I think it felt like a moral victory, I think, for that 99 Viking Motorsports team today. Jeremy Clements finishes at 12th. Christian Eckes, 13th. Parker Retzlaff, 14th and 15th. Jeb Burton. Kyle Sieg, 16th. Sheldon Creed, 17th. 18th for Harrison Burton. He had a spin earlier in the race. Recovered quickly to about where he finished, but sat there the rest of the day. Josh Balicki, 19th. Brennan Poole, 20th. Ryan Ells, 21st. 22nd for Josh Williams. 23rd, Anthony Alfredo. Mason Massey, 24th. Garrett Smithley, 25th. Leland Honeyman, 26th. Blaine Perkins, 27th. 28th for Joey Gase. 29th, David Starr. And Carson Quapple, 30th. Dawson Cram, 31st, is the last car to finish on the lead lap. Brandon Jones returned to the race following an incident earlier, but was 3 laps down in 32nd. Nick Sanchez had an incident on a restart back in stage 2, where he finished 4 laps down in 33rd. Austin Hill got parked for 5 laps following the reckless driving incident with him and Eric Almirola, so he did finish the race, but 5 laps down in 34th. Again, my opinion on that, he honestly should have just been parked the rest of the race. I would be shocked if he doesn't get suspended for next weekend's race as well at this point, and he should be getting a hefty fine. I don't think he would be a repeat offender as far as the reckless driving side of things go. I'd have to go back through the history of it off stream to kind of figure out an answer for that one. I know he's had run-ins on track before, like with Sheldon Creed, but I don't think he has legitimately had like any sort of heavy fines or anything like that from before with reckless driving. But needless to say, 34th for Austin Hill. I don't want that to overshadow Connor Zilich's race win today, that's for sure. Eric Almirola, 35th, 36th for Justin Allgaier. Those were both DNFs. Catherine Legg, 37th, had a mechanical failure in the final stage. I think she was in the top 20 before that. Logan Bearden rounds out the field, 38th. Had some mechanical issues coming to the green. Returned back on the track 30 laps down at the end of stage 1. And then pulled back off the track before the end as well. So only 4 DNFs today, surprisingly, because it seemed like we had quite a few wrecks down the stretch, but quite a few of them still finished. 31 on the lead lap again. That is going to, excuse me, I had a hiccup right in the middle of that sentence. That is going to end today's live commentary stream of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll be live again tomorrow for the Brickyard 400, our main event of the weekend. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be live for that one for our pre-race show. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet on the stream. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. We did get to our like goal of 50. And we did hit 6,500 subs on the channel yesterday during our practice session stream, which got rained out, but still ended up getting there. So be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. It's free. So we can try to get to 7K here soon. Thank you, everybody. Again, see you guys tomorrow afternoon. And again, congrats to Connor Zilisch for his race win today.